Hello and welcome to tonight's episode of Drachmae and Demigods. I'm Sammy Ferber and I'll be your host for the evening. Welcome back to the Links of Tartarus campaign. We are happy to have you. This is Season 2. If you are new here, welcome. You can watch all of our episodes from Season 2 and Season 1, the entire streamed adventure, on our YouTube channel. And this episode, if you have to leave early or if you come in late, will be up on YouTube on Saturday to watch in its entirety before next episode, Monday, 7:30. So, if you're not new, welcome back. We're happy to have you back. We're excited to do this sort of coda of an adventure, the last bit of the adventure that we are going to see here with the Hands of Fate. But we have 3 weeks of the Olympic Games ahead of us, and there's lots to do. So, without further ado, let's get into the story. So, previously on the Links of Tartarus, the Hands of Fate returned from Olympus with a mission to get signatures on their divine document from a menagerie of different people, signifying their approval of the idea to prevent the gods from coming to Gaia personally ever again. They need to get signatures from mortal representatives of each god, the rulers of Xander, Athens, Sparta, Voltura, and Ice Point, and representatives for humans, elves, dwarves, gnomes, halflings, and dragonkin. And they've already made some progress. Sunman Caro, the party's old friend from Delphi, signed as a representative for Apollo, and Lathos, their demigod friend who spent months trapped in a prison cell with his father, Hades, signed on his behalf. And to be clear, all the demigods who traveled up Mount Olympus with you guys have expressed their willingness to sign for their respective gods, but only Lathos has actually done that thus far. Additionally, while in Delphi, Archimeones, the weaver of metal, son and champion of Hephaestus, visited Alexios on behalf of their father. Hephaestus had destroyed the enormous dragon egg he had prepared on the chance of Hecate's death, and wanted to gift Alexios one of the scales from that egg. He told him that should Alexios keep the scale in a fire for an entire month, then it would hatch into a completely new creature. For safekeeping, Alexios gave the scale to Smith Torbera, the head priestess in Delphi's temple to Hephaestus, who has promised to maintain a private forge for it within the temple. For the rest of the signatures, the party is heading to Pheloy, the home of the Olympic Games, which are set to begin in just under a week, and last a total of 3 weeks, culminating with the pentathlon on the last day of the leap month. If the party doesn't get all the signatures they need by the end of the games, the deal with the gods is off. And they've already begun to realize the complicated politics they're stepping into. Their friend Traea, the now Queen of Athens, is an easy signature on the document, but she won't sign yet out of fear that her enemies will distrust the document and be less willing to sign if they see she has already done so. Further still, after King Menelaus of Sparta saw Traea at her coronation, rumors have been circulating that Sparta and or Xander may be making plans to potentially attack Athens now that they perceive it to be far weaker with a young girl on the throne as opposed to a legendary hero and champion of Poseidon. With all that set dressing, Traea and Ambassador Herioxes Evenkeel allowed the party to practice some Olympic events with the star of the Athenian team and Athens' competitor for the pentathlon, Ophelia with Head of Flame. And they did pretty well. Ophelia is confident that should any of them wish to compete for Athens at the Games, they would certainly be welcome on the team. As the day came to a close, the party left the gym, knowing that they could return tomorrow to practice more events, or they could teleport with the rest of the Athenian delegation straight to Pheloy whenever they so choose. So, you guys have all had a night's rest. You can feel free to take a long rest, get your wheel and woe, get your prepared spells, get your divination, all that jazz. You wake up in your somewhat familiar chambers in the palace in Athens. The day is yours. As a reminder, Traea and the rest of the delegation would be totally ready to go to Pheloy today, but if you want to take some more time, you are also welcome to do so. What are you doing?
I'm okay with going to Pheloy.
First off, can I say that I worked on my disguise some more?
Absolutely.
Yesterday?
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. So that's what? 2 days?
I believe that's 2 days, yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah. I'm good with heading over now. We don't have anything else to do here.
Is that carrying the
torch
anything a thingy?
Sorry?
Is carrying the torch a thingy?
Oh, no.
That'd be so cool. Persuade my way to be like, I'm the torchbearer.
Yeah, as of yet, there's not really a strong opening or closing ceremony for the games. That hasn't really been invented yet.
Oh no.
Yep.
There's no opening or closing ceremony. Someone should change.
It's almost like someone gifted with music should go ahead and change that.
Oh, Eric's, you're not doing anything. Let's go make an opening ceremony. Oh, well.
Eric's like, I can't do any of this. Let's go.
I mean,
So
I can't think of anything that I was gonna do, but it's also been a couple weeks, so my memory is not as.
Yeah, I don't remember what I was doing. It's gone. It's in the ether.
I mean, I don't think I was waiting to do anything.
Literally...
My main thing was just checking in on the weapons and stuff that we had, that were being made.
Still being
I think that was
remember the
yeah.
thing. I don't know what the thing is.
Great.
What?
I don't know why I thought that would work.
So, unless there's any... yeah, go ahead.
We're gonna say the same thing.
Right. And unless there's anything else, I will say that you guys have a hearty breakfast here in the Queen's castle before you reconvene with her, a few of the other elite athletes, along with Ophelia and the ambassador, and you are ushered into a private chamber you've never been in before. It's heavily guarded, and as you walk in, you see a complicated circular arcane rune on the ground that, Ryujin, you recognize, a teleportation circle. There are several different high-level mages here waiting for the party, and they address how many people are traveling, figuring out how many people need to make separate trips. A few of the athletes, Traea, and some guards go in the first group, and then in the next 2 or 3 groups, you and the rest of your demigod allies and the ambassador are able to teleport to Pheloy. As you appear in this new city, you're immediately hit by a complete change in atmosphere. You appear in what looks like a large tent. Your group and the other groups that have arrived before you have sort of pushed themselves to the side to allow for more groups to appear. And you see that there are lots of officials around you. You see orange-robed guards with the symbol of Pheloy on their shields, guarding this entire place, as well as pink-robed officials carrying laurels over their heads, who all come and greet you. You see, as you guys appear, that some are bowing to Traea and shaking hands and that sort of thing. You get the sense that these pink-robed individuals work for the Olympics. They are Olympic employees. As you all appear and get sort of pushed from one person to the next, you hear one of the Olympic officials leaving Traea. I will go get the game master, of course, runs off. You have a few moments to sort of get your bearings and feel that beyond this tent, you can hear music and cheering and excitement and the sound of hooves and the sound of metal on metal, and it just sounds like there is a festival of merriment all around you. from outside of this tent. The ambassador comes to the five of you and says, well, it is traditional for the queen and for some select important people to go visit the game master in the tent, the head tent. If you would like, I'd be happy to invite you along for that rather important meeting. Or if you would like to sort of find your own way, that is also, of course, available to you.
I don't think all of us need to go to that. I'm going to turn to everybody else. I think we might need to start politicking as soon as possible.
I mean, it'd be a good start to
Ooh,
talk
yeah,
to the game
yeah.
master, right?
Yeah, I was just thinking like divide and conquer on it.
Yeah, well, I can talk to him. Me and one other person.
I would say maybe not you or Reed, because the dude, the Sandarian Emperor's gonna be there.
True.
Let's
Never
not
mind.
test that too early.
Yeah.
Me and Cora can go.
I
mean,
would say maybe
I don't
take Eric's
know.
too, or maybe Ryujin, since they've got the high buff for, like, you know, talking to people. Very, you know, charismatic.
Ryujin, you want to come?
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
Alright, so Alexios, Cora, and Ryujin go with the ambassador and the queen and a regiment of Athenian guards and make their way towards the head tent of the game master. As you walk out of this tent, you see that you are actually not in Pheloy proper. As you get your bearings, it seems like Pheloy is to your left. There is a large walled city that you are outside of, but that leads a sort of nice paved road towards this almost appendage from the main city. You see that you are on this main road that has several dirt roads coming off of it at various intersections, all with, you see signs with different sigils of different cities pointing in different directions. You get the sense that every team here has a sort of home base that's off of this main road, and this is one of the larger non-city tents that is situated directly on the main road. As you see also, lining this road are statues of the gods, enormous statues, 30, 40 feet tall. As you're being led down this road, you can definitely tell, 14 gods, 14 Olympic events. You can tell if they tried to match each god up to an event, and some make more sense than others. Like, you see Poseidon is in the midst of a swimming stroke. You see Hermes is like clearly in the midst of a dash, that sort of thing. Hephaestus is chucking a discus, but then there's also some that like don't make any sense. Some that's like, we have this event and this god left over, so you have Aphrodite throwing a javelin and stuff like that. But you get the idea at least. But there are these beautiful marble statues of these gods. As the three of you make your way to a beautiful, large blue and black striped, oversized tent, you see just beyond it, this road sort of ends, and you see the enormous Olympic arena. You can't see inside it from this angle, but you can see it is huge. And you can already hear excitement from within and without it. There are several Phelonian guards stationed outside of this tent. The guards that have come with you communicate with them for a moment before ushering you all inside. You hear one of the Phelonian guards announce you, "Presenting the young queen of Athens, Traea Quoxil." Everyone sort of turns, and you see that this tent is packed. And also, you can tell immediately that this is like the upper crust of society. You see fancy togas, wigs, made-up faces, all different racial identities, all different lands of origin, but all with this sort of air about them, as if that they know that they are extremely wealthy, they're extremely powerful, and it's an honor to even just be in this tent with them. If either of you would like to make a general perception check on your way in.
I mean, try. I just leave that up to Alexios, though, actually.
14.
14, okay.
I'll give it a shot too, I guess. Perception.
Oh, yeah, closer on perception, not wise.
Yeah, that's really fun.
Taurus
I got a
feedback?
16.
Okay. So there's a few things that both of you notice. Alexios, your eye is naturally drawn to one aspect, which is you see a person wearing a copper owl mask. Very clearly an owler. Cora points it out to you as well. The copper mask is much more traditional of all owlers. Cora is the only owler that you've ever heard of that doesn't have that has a platinum mask instead of copper. This one looks like it's in the shape of a horned owl, and you can see past it the sort of half-pointed ears of someone of half-elven blood, with the toga and color of an Olympic official, and they're just sort of keeping to the perimeter, walking around, keeping an eye on everything. Ryujin, you notice at a table in a corner several people wearing the red marks of Sparta, and specifically you see seated at a table nursing a chalice the scarred face of King Menelaus the Reborn, who seems to be surrounded by advisors that are all sort of talking in his ear. You also see in a separate corner of the room a legion of dark elves, drow, that are surrounding someone wearing lots of beautiful silver and platinum jewelry, a long, gallant robe. Putting two and two together, this is either the emperor or someone equally important or extremely important. And there is a girl, a drow woman, young woman, that is standing near him in similar garb, beautifully ordained, made-up face, lots of extravagance to her. But what you both see in the center of this room is a large, bulbous human man, balding on top, but still has some brown fuzz around the sides. He is wearing a particularly extravagant pink toga, and he has a basket of grapes and a chalice of wine in his hand. As you all enter, he stands and goes, "Well, Athens, it's good of you to join us." The ambassador brings Traea over and says, "Your Highness, it was my honor to introduce Game Master Priman the Laurel Keeper. Priman, please welcome the new Queen of Athens." He takes a big, pudgy hand and shakes hers. He goes, "Well, you're as young as they say. And that white streak, I'm hearing all sorts of rumors about how you got that. Tell me, is it true you fought off a sea witch for it?" Traea goes, "Well, you know, why ruin a good story with the truth, right?" Please, let me introduce my friends. This is Alexios, Ryujin, and Cora. They helped in the attack of Tromocrates. They helped slay Tromocrates. They are saviors of Athens, and they've made quite a name for themselves already. Prima goes, you wouldn't be the Hands of Fate now, would you? I've heard lots about you."
In parts.
"Well, welcome to the games, my friends. Will you be competing?"
Not me personally.
Maybe.
Shame. Always good to get some divine blood on that field, yes?
Could I want to throw up my Oh. Detect magic.
Sure. Tons of magical energy all around you. Specifically, lots of magical energy coming from King Menelaus, lots of magical energy coming from all of the drows from Xander. Magical items abound here. But what you get is largely what you'd expect from powerful magical items, not necessarily illusion magic or anything like that.
Okay. Could I insight check the game master? I want to look for anything Rakshasa-y in nature.
Okay. Absolutely. Go ahead and make an insight check.
Ooh. Man, what's my modifier again? That's gonna be a 5.
A 5. You know what? He feels a little Rakshasa-y to you. But you can't be sure. But he feels a little tigery, if you will.
Okay.
I'm just waiting for you to throw a plate. I don't think it's a Rakshasa.
Yeah, I slowly reach in for a plate. Just split it up.
Just holding it in your hand.
Cora nudges you, Alexios, and if you don't mind, I'm gonna talk to that Aula and just sort of introduce myself, yes?
Yeah, no problem. See you soon.
Yeah, I'll be right over there. She leaves. Game Master goes, well, I must say I wasn't expecting adventuring heroes at the games this year, but of course I'm excited. Anything to make a better games, yes? Tell me, what is your business here?
Well, we've been quite busy lately, and we'd figured that it would be nice to slow down and actually observe something other than battle.
Well, I hear that. Though I'll tell you this, there is no truer battle than a battle in the Olympic arena, my friend.
Less blood, hopefully?
Well, we have to keep it fair and sporting now, don't we?
Oh, I'm sorry, who is all in attendance here? I've never...
Oh,
Perhaps
well.
you can tell me about, and I point to Menelaus.
Oh, well, of course you know the King of Sparta.
I mean, I know him, but not anything really, just that, I mean, I've seen him. Does he
Well,
have a
of course.
story?
Oh, yes, of course. He himself is an Olympic champion back in the day. Well, he is a strong king. They call him the Reborn for a reason. They say that he is the reincarnated form of Menelaus himself, the one from the Trojan War. I think it's all a bit of, propaganda, but he is a hell of a fighter. And he's got a son that is a favorite to win it all this year. That guy right next to you see there is a 18 or so year old human young man standing by Menelaus' side. He has a sort of a crew cut of brown hair, and he is fit and toned and muscular. You see he wears a pin on his lapel with the symbol of Sparta. Looking around, you do see a few of these pins here and there carrying different sigils of different cities. You get the sense that these pins denote athletes in the games. And you also see on his face a bit of apprehension, nervousness, anxiety, that sort of thing. He definitely doesn't carry himself with the grandeur that his father does, that commands the space. He just looks like a bit of a different breed. He goes, that is Prince Ilion. He came so close to winning the pentathlon last time, and he's not going to let that Athenian take his crown this time. No offense. But yes, he's one to watch. He is beyond just being a pentathlete. Oh, Ophelia, with Head of Flame. Beat him in the last event in the pentathlon. It was a nail-biter, I tell you that.
Oh.
Yes, and you see that woman next to Ilion, that is tribeswoman Io Laurel Antler. She's the coach of the Spartan team. She herself is an Olympic athlete herself. She is quite an athlete, though she has given it up and retired for lack of competition in the field. She is truly extraordinary. There is no better coach in all of the realm than Io Laurel Antler, I tell you that.
Interesting. What other kingdoms are here?
Well, of course you have the Xandarians, and I believe there are some other delegations from some smaller cities. Voltura is here. I think Dracora should be coming later today. Is not here yet. But who would you like to know about? I'm hell of a gossip.
I'm just checking. Right now, it's Voltura, Sparta, Athens, Xander, and
Yeah.
those are the kingdoms are there.
Those are the big
Okay.
players here. There are some smaller cities as well. But you get the sense that you have to be a city of sufficient size to warrant staying and hanging out in this tent.
I'll look at Ryuga and say, you wanna go talk to a team or something? If you're gonna compete, we can start mingling.
I probably should. I'm not even really sure where to start, because I mean, our main goal is to get the, signatures. So,
As this is happening, you guys are strategizing. Anura, Ilme, Adagio, the rest of you guys, you are free to explore, to strategize. What are you guys doing as Ryujin, Alexios, and Korra have gone off with the queen?
If it's okay with everyone, do y'all want to start looking for people of different races? Because I feel like this is going to be the best time to just find people like that.
Well, I actually wanted to try and see if I could find anybody of the Eyes of Gaia, and then trying to cement a place in there. Because that is one way I think we could get Xander, is if, I could try to get in there. Since this goes on for 3 weeks, and we still have, most of a month left.
Sure.
I figured I could try and do that.
Go ahead and make an investigation check.
An 18.
18. It's a bit of a challenge. First of all, there's just all walks of life everywhere. However, from what you remember when you were in Xander, the symbol of the Eyes of Gaia has sort of become a fashion trend in Xander. And so you do see lots of Eyes of Gaia symbols throughout, but it's hard to tell if people are actually members of the Eyes of Gaia or if they are just voicing their support, or if they don't even know what it means. It's just something that everyone else is wearing. You get the sense, especially with your expertise in finagling your way into societies and that sort of thing, that anyone of sufficient importance within the Eyes of Gaia would likely be in a position of power within the games as well. So likely the high-ranking Eyes of Gaia members that are here are probably in that tent.
Can I invisibly inspect around the tent, see if there is a way to get in, and try my best to see if it's magically trapped? So if anybody could actually get in there or not without warning people.
Okay, I will need you to make a stealth check for me.
Okay. I'm invisible, so I get advantage. Right?
That is true.
Okay.
I love that we still have to ask Sammy when we get advantage for sure.
I'm just double checking here. Ooh. 33.
33. Okay. You invisibly snake your way closer to the big tent. You see the Phelonian guards at the main door to the tent, but you're not going to the main door. You're just sort of poking your way around the tent. What you see is that there are several guards making rounds around the tent, but again, because there is the agreed upon Olympic truce, they're not on extremely high alert right now. They're just sort of doing their rounds. However, you do notice, keeping a bit of a distance, that amongst every pair of guards, you see at least one of them is every now and again waving their hand and muttering some words under their breath as they continue along their path.
Okay. I think I'm just gonna camp out invisibly and see if anybody from Xander leaves, and then I'll follow them.
Interesting. Go ahead and make a perception check for me.
Gotta pick which dice I want to use. Perception?
Perception.
Okay, 28.
28. I will say, waiting a few minutes outside of this tent, there is something that you happen to witness. You see there is a group of 3 men walking towards the tent, 2 of which you've never seen before. One you recognize as an elven man with short blonde hair, the same man that tortured you in the library of Xander. You see he's talking to another person in Xandarian robes and a third person that looks more like a commoner, like a young 14-year-old boy. Could look like maybe he's a squire for someone or something of that regard. But it seems like this man, Devorian Helene Odell, is talking to these 3 men before they sort of nod in agreement, and you see the boy go into the tent, and a few minutes pass before Devorian enters the tent as well.
Because I think I have an ability where I can read lips.
Yes.
I'm double checking.
Interesting. Can you read lips?
I'm freaking. I thought I saw it somewhere.
I believe
find
it's one of your feats if you have the observant feat.
Do I have the observant feat?
I don't know. You tell me.
I do. Okay, yeah,
Okay.
I do.
Okay, so here's what you see him mouthing to this boy. You say, "Let the king know. The deal is on. As long as the emperor gives the final approval, it seems that we have a double kill switch on our hands. Give him the signal. I'll come in a few minutes later and communicate our wishes to the emperor. Go."
Oh, frick. Oh, Jesus, what am I gonna do for this? So, do I get the impression, like, that they're trying to do an assassination?
Not necessarily. He did say a double kill switch is in order, but you're not entirely sure what that
Yeah.
means. I will say, with your particular background, go ahead and make just a straight intelligence check for me.
Oh, God. 6.
6. Yeah, you have no idea. Could be an assassination. It'd be risky, but could be.
Okay. Okay. I think I'm just gonna sit here for now.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna just keep waiting.
You got it. What are the rest of you guys doing?
I'm gonna ask Phoebe to send me to the most interesting thing currently happening. Like, find me something fun to do, Phoebe. And then I want to see what her interpretation of interesting is. Then I'll drag Lathos with me.
That's not exactly what I do.
You know I seek attention and entertainment, Phoebe.
Alright, well, suppose follow me. And she sort of points you in one direction. You see that there is currently a large gathering of people, all varying degrees of drunk, all seemingly auditioning to join a team for the unarmed combat event. Because there's a lot of people from each city that get to do the unarmed combat event, and a lot of common people, bar brawlers, think that this is my chance, this is my opportunity. So a lot of them are just sort of fighting each other and hoping that someone important sees it, so that they can get sort of picked from the crowd as a worthy fighter. So it's a bit chaotic, but at least it's entertaining. And there's drinks. I'll also say another option that she presents you. She points you near the black and blue main tent. There is another extremely large tent that's painted green, and you see lots of people going in and out of that one. That is the wager house. That is where all the bets take place for the games.
How is the cheating? I can see the
Only if they know.
Oh, yeah.
That's the thing.
Let's see.
Is it cheating or you just have a slight advantage?
Okay, I'm gonna ask if that's what he wants to do.
I mean, I'm happy to punch some people.
Wait, you're always happy to punch sign.
Lovely.
Okay, now you're coming with me. Let's go to the wager house. Wrong decision, Lathos.
All right, as you enter this enormous tent, you see, and it's actually larger than the main tent. It's enormous. You see that there are several almost booths set up in here, almost like an indoor market, with Olympic employees at each booth, all with the names and symbols of these different Olympic events, one at each booth. And there are lines going to all of them. Lots of people placing bets for archery, lots of people placing bets for different events. I will say the largest lines right now are at the long distance and the equestrian booths, because those are the first events that get started on the very first day of the games. You also see on one wall there are the standing rankings of all the teams and their general betting odds and that sort of thing. There's also a sign that you see labeled high profile bets that points you up to actually a second level of the tent. You also see in the tent another owler. You see this one is looks like it's a copper mask in the shape of a snowy owl with olive leaves raining down the face. This owl is fairly short. They look like they're probably a halfling or a gnome underneath their mask, and they, similar to the one in the main tent, are just sort of keeping a perimeter and making sure everything's on the up and up. What would you like to do?
First, say there was a significance behind different owls for the owl mask, or they get to pick that happen there.
They get to, it's sort of like based on their personality. They get to, part of the last part of owler training is forging their own mask.
That's so cute.
Yeah.
Okay, can I like insight check the place? I want to find someone who looks like they know what they're doing.
Make an insight check.
That's an ugly number, but I have a +8, so 15.
Okay. There's a lot of just common people around, so it's hard to really tell. However, you do see over at the pentathlon booth, which is a bit of a line, but not a huge line, you see one man in particularly fancy robes, clearly in like a Karen-type argument with the person at the booth. And as you just sort of walk over and listen more closely, you can hear him being like, All I'm saying is that I want to place a very specific kind of bet. Will you please call the betmaster over so I can talk to someone who actually understands what I'm trying to do? You see the employee is this like little halfling girl, and she's like, I'm sorry, the pentathlon special bets has not opened yet, so I'm not allowed. He's like, if I need to ask you one more time, I swear to all the gods on Olympus, I will destroy you and everyone you know. Now, please get the betmaster, or I'm going to burn this place to the ground. Sir,
Sounds like I can't.
Sir,
Pardon.
I'd really like to avoid any sort of conflict. I'm really not supposed to do this, but I will get the betmaster for you. But he's going to tell you the same thing that, she's going to tell you the same thing that I'm telling you now, which is that there's not anything we can do for you at this moment. But he goes, just please get her. Thank you. She sort of walks out of her booth and goes up the stairs. A few moments pass before she returns with another sort of heavy-set dwarven woman, and you see she is decked out in golden rings and earrings, and she looks like she has more money than the gods themselves. And she just sort of walks down and goes, my apologies. Of course, we did not mean to insult you, my dear friend. Why don't you come up to my office and we can get a bit more particular about the exact sort of wager you wish to come. Please, come. She leads him up the stairs.
No. What I just witnessed. Be like, Phoebe, betting is a weird place.
You just hear in your mind, do be careful. Where there is gold, there are lots of people willing to do lots of things for it. Coming back to the main tent, Alexios and Ryujin, what are you guys doing?
I probably should go. I guess at the very least meet up with everyone else, see what the plan is. If we're splitting up, if we're going after signatures, then yeah, I'm not sure where to start. Maybe she would wait for everyone else would help me along.
Oh no.
So, what are you guys doing?
I'm gonna. Oh. Alexios is frozen.
Cool.
I am going to. Is there like a? Yeah, I'm not sure. I'll just go meet up with Honora, I guess.
Okay. As you exit the tent, you see there's a blonde elven man entering as you exit, and you go and find Honora. We'll wait if Alexios is back. Alexios, are you back?
Why are you raising your hand?
I just wanted to raise my hand for Alexios. He was typing that he wanted to say something, but yeah, he's frozen.
He keeps moving.
You can raise your hand. Oh my gosh, you can.
You can raise your hand.
Okay.
See? Great.
Alright, that's
My hand immediately got lowered.
Alright, everyone stop with the raising their hands. It makes no sense on stream. Do we know what Alexios is trying to do? Alexios, I can hear you. Now we can't. Buddy, why don't you leave and come back in?
His face is stuck right now in such disdain.
Yeah.
Well, I know
I'm
I'm gonna be trying.
We can hear you, DJ, we can't see you.
I found this on the web.
What? Sorry, Siri. Forget it. DJ, just leave and come back.
Well, I know the 3 events I'm probably gonna try and do are what was it? Swimming, arcane marksmanship,
Oh.
and I am on the fence about the chariot. I don't know. So maybe I should start there. Go to the.
I mean, the question is, who would you like to compete for?
Ideally, I guess that's what I need to figure out. So I'm not too sure.
I'm gonna wait and decide who to compete for once we've talked to some people.
Yeah. Once we know, like, I guess once we have a better idea of what the situation is, decide then. But
Okay. I will say, as Ryujin leaves to go find Anura, Ilme, you do see him leave if you wanted to talk to him or anything like that. That is available
Yeah,
to you.
actually, I was gonna do that. I
Yeah,
was gonna
so-
come up behind him and like try to inconspicuously turn back visible. Hopefully nobody sees that.
Make us a sleight of hand check.
Pops back into existence real quick.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. 32.
32. I mean, yeah, you're fine.
Okay, cool. So I'll pop up right next to you and be like, hey, I just got some really haunting, maybe news. And I'll describe to him what I heard, whatever that guy's name was. That was a mouthful to say.
Devorian Helin Odell.
Okay, Devorian?
Sammy should not expect us to know names ever.
I'm not gonna try his
Because
last
God
name,
forbid you
sorry.
guys keep notes.
Even if we do, we can't say it.
I
Devorian?
can't even spell
I can
that.
say Devorian. Well, I don't.
Listen, how long did it take us to get Lileo?
It's true. You guys still don't have Lilio.
We get Lileo, it's the dragon now.
Yeah.
Leia.
So I'll tell Reagent that, and then head back because I want to talk to Adagio if I can find him.
Aren't saying the tent right next over?
Yeah, you're at the next tent over. I'll say, I mean,
Okay.
Ilme, you have a perception of 1,000,000, so I'll say that you saw Adagio and Lathos head into the wage house.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So I told Reagent, and if he wants to join, he can. Then I want to go to Adagio and tell him what happened, and see if he can send a message to,
Kettering?
yeah, Kennering.
More Triea.
yeah, I was
Yeah,
gonna
we
say
need
after
to.
hearing that, I'm probably gonna go back into the
You can
tent.
message
Just
Triea, can't you? Oh, it
to
speaks out
be-
loud anyway, never mind.
Yeah. So
see.
yeah, you can do that then, since you've been in the tent before. But I would wanted Adagio to try and send a message to Kennering, asking if they know of anything that this plot is.
So we know
And-
that Kennering's super high with the Emperor, right? Was the skies we know for Kennering, was that one of the ones in the tent?
You haven't been in the tent, you don't know.
And
Well, I'm asking like out of character, like was that
well,
that they saw?
Ragin and Alexios don't know what Kennering's disguise is.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's
The only
true.
people that have seen the people in the tent don't know what Kennering's disguise is. And I can
What?
say that Kennering was not one of the 3 people that you saw Ilme walking into the tent.
Okay.
Does the way so Adagio uses message, not sending, right?
No, it's
I-
sending.
Okay, so it speaks out loud, right? Am I
Yeah.
wrong in saying?
It's telepathically, isn't it?
No, it's out loud.
No, it's out loud.
Sending
That's
without
what I was
mouth?
Message is
about, like-
telepathic, I believe.
Out of character, I was concerned that if Kennering's in that tent and that message comes through, that blows Kennering's cover.
Oh, no, sorry.
No.
You
Yeah.
receive the message telepathically, but you have to respond out loud.
Yeah.
That's how I
Okay.
remember. That's why I remember.
I have
yeah.
thought this whole time the message plays out
Oh
loud.
my god. No.
No, no.
No.
No, remember Kettering answered last time. They were
Like
like,
in
playing
code.
chess or something.
Yeah.
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 Oh yeah, that's
Okay, so
I'm an idiot.
we'll try and find a secluded spot to say this.
Yeah, so Adagio, I'll say that Ryujin and Ilme find you and Lathos at the wager house and tell you all of this and pull you out of the tent and just sort of walking down a side street as you discuss.
Oh, I would have gone back into the tent. For fear of like an assassination attempt or something. I don't know.
Sure. Go ahead and make a persuasion check to get back into the tent without the queen.
Interesting. Okay. Persuasion, eh? Okay. Decent.
You're not having sending prepared.
32.
But having a singular spell slot that I was missing.
The guards at the front.
Oh, sorry.
Oh.
22, not 32.
22. Okay.
My bad.
The guards at the front give you a bit of hassle, but Ambassador Harioxes comes and goes, "Oh, sorry, he had to go step outside to empty his bladder. He's with us," and they allow you back into the tent.
I love
Nice.
the ambassador so much.
Ryujin, now going in with this sort of expectation, go ahead and make a perception check.
What is that? Interesting. Perception. 8.
8. Looks pretty much the same as when you left it.
Nice. Okay. I'll keep detect magic up for anything illusion-y, anything
Sure.
suspicious, and just try to stay near. Right, I suppose.
You got it. Treya has now ended her conversation with the game master, and she's sort of set up at a table near what looks like a small sort of fireplace within this tent. Drinks have been brought to the Athenian delegation, and people are sort of sitting around, and you see sort of, while there are other people around, it doesn't go unnoticed that Athens, Xander, and Sparta have sort of created a triangle at 3 different points, equidistant from each other in this tent. There is obviously a truce, but it's still uneasy to be so in such close quarters to what could be your enemies. So Athens has sort of created their own little pocket of this room.
See. Is there someone, like you said, drinks were poured, right?
Yeah.
Damn, I don't actually, I can't do that. I don't have,
Detect poison.
yeah. Well, I'll take a sip first. I'm just kidding.
You keel over, I'm kidding.
Oh
Instant
no.
Eugen's look is he would keel over because he drank poison.
Yeah.
Or his body
yeah.
was possessed by some otherworldly entity.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or he just gets one shot at by Rakshasa popping out of a box.
Rakshasa just pops out of the wine glass, just takes me.
The wine bottle itself transforms into a Rakshasa. It
I
fires
guess
a
I'll
cork
just-
at you, it hits you between the eyes, you die.
Oh no. I'll just hang out, try to be as perceptive as I can.
God.
What's your passive?
Not great. It's passive perception. It's a solid 11.
Okay.
There's room
You do
for
your best.
improvement, but it's not the
it's over
worst.
the halfway point.
Yeah, you do your best. There's a lot going on in this tent. There's lots of important people, lots of conversations, lots of, there's a lot of distractions. People are coming up to you guys and asking for, the story of Tomocrates, and they're asking you about all these rumors they've heard about you and all that kind of stuff. One person comes over drunkenly and starts singing 3 of 3. Like, there's just lots of commotions happening. It's hard to stay focused on what you necessarily want to stay focused on. What are the rest of you guys doing?
I see.
Explain to Ome what I'm doing in the wager, blah, 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 blah. I just want to collect info. I just want to, what teams are, looking for what, who isn't, who's, that second, okay, this person is for sure going to win, but this person's so close, so we can jump on that team and be like, let's get you a laurel.
Go ahead and make an investigation check for me.
And
Just
then,
listen to the vibes.
And then I want to get Ilme's help to try to draw a picture of Kettering's disguise. Okay. I rolled an 18. You said investigation is a +0, so.
18, okay. So, for most events, it's always going to be between Sparta, Athens, Xander, Voltura. Those are the top 4 of every event. Their order in each event can trade differently, but generally those are the big 4. Big talk right now is about the rematch between Ophelia and Prince Ilion for the pentathlon, as it was so close in the last games, but the general consensus is that Ilion has spent the last 3 years training hard to beat Ophelia this year. And also, there's lots of talk about Ilion's getting pretty old. He's 18 now. At any point, he could challenge his father for the throne, but it's generally believed, a lot of Spartan culture, that he's not going to challenge his dad for the throne until he wins a significant laurel and sort of gets that accomplishment under his belt. So there's lots of going into it for Prince Ilion, so lots of people are rooting for him this year as a sort of a comeback story. However, there is also talk about this sort of wild card that's been thrown into the games this year. Some new person from Xander, who is their pentathlete this year, that has never been heard of before. His name is Algasmir, the Riverborn. And he's talked about with great mystery by all the common people here. People know his name, and people know that he has been signed up for the pentathlon on Xander's team, but that's basically all they know. The fact that he's called the Riverborn has created a lot of stir about what that could mean. Maybe he's the son of a nymph or something like that, or maybe he, there's lots of rumor about it, but the reality is that no one's actually seen him compete yet. But the way that the Xandarians are talking about it gets everyone else excited. But everyone's wondering, like, where the fuck this guy came from? Where does he stand in relation to Ophelia and Ilion? There's lots of talk about it, but everyone's just waiting for the games to start to see him in action. Yeah, so that's the gist. That's a lot of it. Alexios, you're back.
Nice. And then I want to keep an eye.
Sorry, Adagio, you want to keep an eye out for what?
For that Karen.
You got it. Yeah, 100%. Alexios, now that you're back, what would you like to do in the tent?
I would try and wait for Cora to come back.
Sure, yeah. It's only a few minutes before she comes back, yeah.
And ask her, do you think it's safe to approach the Emperor Xander now?
Safe is a relative term, but I would say no better time than during the Olympics, right? I mean, what's the worst he can do to you?
No, I mean, right in this moment. For clarity, do they know that we know that they supposedly killed Pheloy?
I'm certain they don't. I don't know.
So we're supposed to pretend like we don't know.
I don't know what rumors have been spread. I don't know if they think that Ilme and Adagio have disappeared, or that they've died somehow. I don't know what Tria's people have been spreading, but my guess is that they would be playing dumb about it all.
And do we know, or this is out of character, do we know that he's in charge of the Isaiah?
Yeah, you know that. He was
So-
holding Link at Pronos.
We all, okay, gotcha, we all know this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. Let's go.
Both of us.
Why not you too?
No,
You're
that's fine.
the leader of
I
society.
Yeah, that's why I think maybe he might be more receptive if it's only one enemy, not two different enemies.
But we're. I'm sorry. Are we not a thing?
What do you mean?
I figured this would be more like a, we're going together as a unit.
And that's
And
wonderful and lovely, but this is politics, and he's the head of the Izagaya, I'm the head of the society, and you're the head, or one of the members of the Hands of Fate. There's a lot of factors, lots of different interests in one conversation.
I guess I'm not really versed with how this works, and I thought you'd be like my you drive the point home, like you give me the kind of like what's the validity or no?
I mean,
I don't think that's the word.
I can absolutely be your support, whatever you want. This is your play.
I mean, don't. I just figured you want to be there.
I'll stay a step behind, but I'll be behind you.
Yeah. Ripcord.
Right.
I'm gonna go up to his, I guess, his contingency first. They're surrounding him.
Yeah, it's like a table of elite Zendarian forces. As you approach, their conversation sort of immediately hushes, and they all sort of turn to the newcomer. And you see, it's mostly Drow here, along with the blonde elven man is here now next to the Emperor, and there is a Furbolg woman here as well, and there is someone who looks like a human woman as well, but the rest are all Drow. And they're all just staring at you.
Step up into a deep bow. Greetings.
The human woman stands and extends a hand. She looks like she's probably early 40s. She's beautiful, wearing robes of arcanum and sophistication. She has around her neck a necklace with the shape of a spider on it, and she just extends her hand. She goes, "Your reputation precedes you. You are Alexios of the Hands of Fate, are you not?"
One and the same, and you are?
"You may call me Aricto. I am the Grand Countess of Development for our grand city, daughter of Hecate."
That's the benefactor. Benef- you know what I'm trying to get at. The one for-
That's the cut the losses and run because we just fucked her mom up, basically.
I am so sorry to hear about what's happened to your friends. Have you
the
found them
person
yet?
that sent these attributes.
Not quite, but the thing with them is, well, Ilme in particular, she's very elusive. You never know where she might turn up, so we're not that scared.
Yes, that's wise. Best to keep a positive outlook. Well, allow me to introduce you to His Royal Emperor Ilvisar Gilro. You see this drow man stand and sort of nod a head towards you. And his daughter and heiress Eviana Gilro. The drow girl stands and nods her head as well. The emperor goes, "So, what business do you have coming to our corner of the tent?"
Well, we like to think of ourselves as becoming more prominent, and we figured that staying in touch with as many important figures as possible to be beneficial to everyone, actually.
You know, I heard a rumor that you spent God's Sight Day trying to reach Olympus. Is that true?
I mean, my friend Trya told me that it's bad to ruin a good story with the truth. But I could tell you the truth, or as close to the truth as you think you can get, perhaps privately.
Well, I don't go anywhere privately.
I mean, not alone, but less people.
Make a persuasion check.
I just gotta say, because of the way Alexios words stuff, sometimes it vaguely sounds like he's hitting on the Emperor.
It sounds like I'm hitting on everybody, right?
Except for Cora.
Damn. 26.
26. He sort of looks you up and down, and then shoots a look at Arito. He goes, I will tell you what, adventurer. We will be retiring from this tent in a few hours. Visit us in the Xander delegation's housing, and we will discuss further what it is you wish to discuss. Yes?
You'll be there?
Oh, yes.
I am actually excited about that. You said 2 hours, and where exactly is that?
You will follow the signs to find where we are.
And is this one of those come alone or else things?
I believe if you have to ask, yes?
It was a joke. However, it was charming to meet you.
Likewise.
It feels kind of...
It is good to put a face to the name, yes?
You don't know how mutual that is.
I look forward to our discussion.
And I'm gonna leave.
Absolutely. Cord is in your ear. I think that went well.
Did it? Did it? I do not feel like that went well.
Genuinely, I don't know.
I felt like she could kill me.
Oh, she absolutely could kill everyone in that room twice.
What do you know about her?
I mean, only what I hear. She is one of the most powerful people in all of Xander. She is the head inferior of the Heka Institute. She, if rumors are to be believed, is the one that really runs the school within the Institute. She's the one that trains the next generation of Xandarian elite adventurers.
Speaking of school, what do you think about a school?
In theory, schooling is great. What do you mean?
No, you said like our place. Like you said, we're gonna need a place after. What about a school?
Oh, of course. I mean, I'm sure my mother would approve.
I mean, just the working thing. I mean, we're here around everybody. It'll be a good time to make connections if we don't die.
I will follow where you go.
So it was a good idea. Menelaus?
Off to you.
I know nothing about him. How about
Well, you know a bit. He was one of the defenders of Delphi. He fought alongside Odella and Theseus, but then there was some sort of falling out between him and Theseus, and that became the rest of their lives were fighting each other. He's known for being a strong king of Sparta. I mean, you have to be. The way Sparta works is that anyone can claim the throne. They just must win the duel, and the winner of the duel takes the crown. That's how Menelaus got the crown. And everyone respects him and knows that he is a strong leader, a fierce leader, a Spartan through and through.
It just occurred to me that could all be relative because I've met pretty much everyone from the rest of his team except for him. I think he may hate us, or at least try it.
I mean, he did go to the coronation and seemed not necessarily impressed by her.
Yeah, that not a threat?
It certainly seemed like one.
And just for clarity, if they do get into a fight, we're on Tria's side, right?
Of course.
Great. I mean, it's not one of those, like, I almost said Switzerland. It's not one of those neutral things, right?
No, but I will say, if a fight breaks out here, it is in all of our best interests to be a neutral party and try to stop it. No matter who we agree with. Because if a fight breaks out here, no matter which side we're on, we get executed.
Yeah. Duly noted. Do you feel like you have to, like, remind me of that? Am I...
No. But I also didn't think you'd have to ask if we were on Tria's side. You've got this. You're getting in your own head. You got this.
I'm gonna... Same thing. I'm gonna approach the people outside and kind of...
Sure. So this table is much more human-centric. Almost everyone there is human. And they all very similarly stop talking and look at you as you approach. But you actually see Prince Ilion stand first and bow his head. Sorry, I heard you from across the room. You're in the hands of fate, yes?
Yes. Alexios.
Ilion, it's an honor to meet someone who killed a kraken.
There was a lot of help. It was a great effort.
The king goes, yeah, impressive. What? What do you want?
First, to express my admiration, I've heard lots of stories. Actually had similar beginnings. We both started in Delphi.
Dragon Slayers, one and all.
I've actually always been interested in meeting you, personally. We met every one of the defenders except for you and another.
Well, it's been a long time since then. We've all changed as people, but I'm glad to meet a fan. Alexis, make a perception check.
Whatever it is, it's plus... Okay, natural 18, 19, plus 5, 24.
Okay, there's a couple things you notice. First of all, you notice that Prince Ilion is sweating. He seems nervous. Or at least a little panicked, freaking out a little bit. You also notice that King Menelaus's scars, he has multiple scars on his face. But this is the closest you've ever been to him physically. And you see that they're actually parallel. He has three and a half scars on, like, almost covering an eye. They look like thick, parallel, jagged lines. They give him a sort of air of ruthlessness.
I turn towards... I'm sorry, what was the son's name again?
Ilion.
Ilion. And I say, actually, I heard that you're a pentathlete?
I am. Are you planning on competing?
Not me personally, but I have some friends. I heard that you're actually a favorite.
Well, hopefully I can live up to that. I see you came in with the Athenian delegation. I assume you've met my competition.
Yeah. We practiced a little bit with her, and
You hear the king just goes, enough about the girl. What would you need from us? What are you doing here? You just want to meet me? You want me to sign something for you? I didn't even mean that as a joke.
uh, with the perception check I had, do I see any like religious, anything religious on him? Does he serve
No.
a particular god?
You do not get anything religious from either of them.
Hmm. I mean, I don't need you to sign anything per se. I just really wanted to. It felt wrong to meet everyone except for you and not know you. And I find it, I mean, found myself curious as to who you were as a man. You found yourself around a son of Poseidon and a follower
You
of.
see, he visibly like looks ticked when you mention Theseus.
But you serve no god?
I respect the gods. Ares has kept Sparta safe. But I have not devoted my life to him, nor have I devoted my life to anything else. I devoted my life to my kingdom.
So you believe in people?
I believe in might.
That's admirable. Perhaps we could talk about the future.
What business have you with the future of Sparta?
Not just Sparta, as its king, that would be your concern. Have you heard about what I and my friends have been up to during God's Sight Day?
I hear you were climbing Mount Olympus.
How much of that do you believe?
You tell me what to believe.
Well, if you want to believe it, we've been given the opportunity to change the shape of Gaia as is. We've been thinking of a way to govern ourselves without the gods. And part of that agreement would be to gain the opinion or get the opinion of major players on Gaia. One would be you.
You want my approval to kill the gods?
Hell? I'm a demigod. I know. The proposal is that mortals have more control over Gaia and gods have less of an acting hand.
And why come to me for this proposal? What need you for my opinion?
You're the king of Sparta.
What if I say, no, I don't like it? Who cares?
Do we need all the signatures, right? Not most.
Yeah, you need all of them.
Oh, okay. Then the world stays the same.
Tell me more about this plan of yours. I don't see what's stopping the gods from just smiting you where you stand for even breathing this in my ear.
I'm still here. So you should know that they somewhat are at least willing to listen. But I think the important thing for you to know is that if this happens, everything that we do from that point on will be up to us to judge or execute as is, or as we will.
Make a persuasion check.
Natural 20.
Woo! For a total of what?
Persuasion?
Yeah.
27.
Okay. He ponders for a bit. As I said, I value might. In Sparta, deals of this importance are not struck by conversation. I know you from story, from rumor, not from deed. As I keep telling my son here, sort of pats him on the back, nothing in Sparta is given. It is earned. It is fought for. It is bled for. I tell you what, Alexios of the Hands of Fate. I will back your plan if you prove yourself mighty, worthy. If you, and you alone, beat my son in any of his events, I'll back your claim. Ileana goes, Father, puts up a hand. If you can't beat this man, what sort of king would you be? Have we a deal?
What are sorry. What are his events?
Prince Ileana goes, I fight in the unarmed. I do the javelin, the discus, the long distance run, the archery, and the pentathlon.
Archery it is.
Good. Well, I look forward to the competition.
Do you shake hands with kings?
All men shake hands. You feel his hand is coarse and rough and completely calloused. Firm handshake. Now be gone. There's more business to attend to.
Alright, I'm gonna walk away.
Okay.
Shit.
As you walk away, you see briefly the king sort of turn to the side and give a small nod to a squire boy sitting at a random table, who nods back.
Insight check?
Make an insight check.
What's my insight? +6? 22.
22. The king seems very casual, but this squire boy seems like hopped up on caffeine, you know? Like, he seems like very, very not calm right now. And you see, as soon as he receives the nod, his head whips around and gives a nod over to the Zendarian table. And you see Devori and Helena Dell just give a slight nod back before continuing to whisper in the Emperor's ear.
Where's Triada?
In the Athenian corner.
I'm gonna lead Cora, I'm gonna go back to Triad, and on our way back, I want to talk to Cora and say, it was Xander and Sparta who had a problem with Triad, supposedly, right?
Who are you asking?
Cora.
She goes, not a problem per se. They have always been at a somewhat war with Athens. They just believe that since Traia is a young and inexperienced queen, that Athens is more ripe for the taking than when Theseus was in charge. They think she's an easy target.
I'm catching a few head nods from their respective tables. Maybe we should take precautions.
What sort of precautions?
I don't know, poison, snipers, snakes. I don't know. What's good assassin? Should I say the A word here?
I don't think so. And if we started preparing that thing in the Athenian area, word would spread and people would get nervous, including the Phelonian officials. I don't think we want to be the ones arming ourselves against our enemies.
Don't you have, like, X-ray vision or something? Like, can't
No.
you see this coming?
I will keep a lookout. Now that I know the pieces on the chessboard, I'll do a little investigating. See what I can rile up.
Can we get somebody else to do it? I don't think you know what? I should trust you. I do. Thank you.
I was trained for exactly this. This is what I do.
Yeah.
I'm going to disappear into the background now. And she just sort of
Yes, you do the
dissolves.
Batman thing.
Yeah. You turn around, turn back, she's gone. And then you see her a couple tables over.
Where's Ryujin? You left?
Ryujin, I think you're still hanging out with the Athenians,
No.
right?
Yeah, I'm still by Triad.
Yeah.
Alright, so I'm gonna go to the Athens table and talk to Ryujin, I guess.
Absolutely. He's got a drink in his hand, looks pretty happy, enjoying himself.
Okay. Talk to Sparta. That was really aggressive. I guess I will be participating in the Olympics now, and I have no team in which to do it with. And I have a meeting with Xander in a few hours. That's going pretty well. And both of which may or may not have plans to do something nefarious to your sister.
What?
Yeah, they're exchanging weird nods back and forth, and I don't know what that means. There's a lot of people to hurt at the Olympics.
Wait, well, I'm gonna tell Alexios everything that Ilme had told me. Just kind of like quietly explain that. So interesting. I don't really know what's going on, but there's definitely something weird. They made some kind of agreement or alliance, right? That's kind of what it seems like.
Yeah, and Cora said definitely we should pretend like we don't know anything.
Well, I'm pretty good at that anyway, so all right.
Okay, so I know not knowing anything is okay, but I just want to reiterate we're not doing anything either.
Okay.
We hurt no one.
Presenting
Nor
the
do we
king of
lead
Nepeot,
ourselves-
King Anagonios. You see the Triton king that you have seen before in the Athenian chambers, come in, and immediately the game master goes, "I am so sorry," and it begins. There's a small crowd that forms around him. You actually recognize there's two Tritons that come in, both of which you recognize: the King Anagonios and Ambassador Agot of Athens. This is formerly the archpriest under King Theseus that Traea at her coronation sent to be an ambassador to Nepeot to try to gather as many lost Tritons as possible. But you see this is just the two of them that come into this chamber and are immediately swarmed by well-wishers, and people are expressing their dismay at Nepeot barely being able to compete this year.
Are they gonna sit like near the Athenian area? Does it look like, or is there a special area for them around?
They talk to the game master for a while, and eventually they just find their own little table. It's a small. There's only two of them, so it's just a small table where they can just gather and talk.
Okay. At some point I will go there, but before that, what were you saying, Alexia?
Wait. Anemios is her head advisor now?
Anemios, yeah.
Yeah, do you think we should head up Anemios? I think he'd be pretty discreet.
So, sorry, just to clarify, because these names are a little similar. Seaman Anemios is back in Athens. King Anagonios is the Triton king of Nepeot.
Oh, then who's her right-hand man who's with
the ambassador? The ambassador. Herioxes Evenkeel.
Okay. Can I notify him of what's going on?
Yeah, he goes, interesting. How would you like to proceed?
I was telling you because I thought you would know. Like, you'd be the one to handle this, like, diplomatically.
Which
We
element?
are adventurers. We kill things. We can't do that.
Well, until we know more specifics about what exactly it is that our enemies are planning, there's not much we can do beyond just keep our ears open and our spies nimble.
I mean that's something. That's something. I don't think we can interrogate a kid during the Olympics.
I'll talk to Mistress Lily Threefoot. She's our spy master for Athens, and I'll make sure that she spreads her wings and gets as much information as she possibly can.
Why 3 foot?
Because she's a gnome and she's small.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Because she got that fang on her, you know what I'm saying?
Wait, does she run fast? Is it like okay.
I like how that went two different directions.
Yeah.
That she run fast and she got that thing. She's why they can. Never mind. I'm not saying that joke. I'm leaving it there. Nope.
Yeah. I just figured that it'll be information best had in your hands. I guess I have to go figure out if Voltura has an empty archery spot now. That sucks. Oh wait, did you say Spear Point has a team, Sammy?
Yeah, absolutely. They're
Okay.
They're not ranked as high, but they're not ranked terribly far below. They're at the 10 spot.
Alright. I can do that.
We would need a signature from Nepeot, right? Or no?
No.
'Cause that's beside. That would be. Or not. Shit.
There is no signature needed from Nepeot or from Tritons. They're so few and far between, and Nepeot's been destroyed that they're not even represented on the form. If you wanted to represent them, then I would say that yeah, they could sign for Poseidon probably.
Did Tromocrates make their population not matter?
I mean, they were a small population already, and then
Oh.
I hate to draw this comparison, but it's like, I guess, do I even need to say it?
No, you don't have to. You don't got to. We get it.
I don't think Anna gets it.
I didn't get it.
They were a small population, and then an evil creature came and decimated that population even more, so that it was almost extinct.
It's a historical.
It's a historical analogy from.
Oh!
Okay.
Oh.
I wasn't thinking history at all. I was straight D&D. Very confused. Never mind.
So yes, they have a very small
Sorry.
population.
I did not get that at all.
You see Anna's mind palace.
Yeah.
Like,
I wasn't thinking
Okay.
any history. I was thinking just like G&D tropes. And I was like, what am I missing?
So
Oh, I need sleep. I need something.
who is in charge of the spear point team? Do I know?
you don't. I mean, you could find out. There's no one from Spear Point here in the tent, but they probably are hanging out in their own little area.
I go do team tryouts. But the queen of Voltora is here. The little queen.
Yes, you see the little. She's at this point probably 9. You recognize her, Queen Thrasa, and she's with her dwarven protector, Peron Kingseye, the Fortbred. He's a badass, and they're both sort of sitting at their own table with a few other Volturans around them. Actually, speaking of, you see the familiar purple hair at the table of Paloma hanging out with them.
Oh, okay. Can I go say hi to Paloma? I look at Ryujin and I say, stay here and do not look at the dwarf. You remember what happened last time, right?
Don't do what?
Do not look at the dwarf. You don't remember last time.
Don't get lured out of the tent by something where you go get killed by a Rakshasa.
No, the last time we met the dwarf, he stole like a rock from their kingdom with intentions to be able to teleport back into the castle, and he kicked us out immediately.
Oh, that's right. I was the wrong. I was thinking it was a different city, but that's right.
Oh.
Yep,
Right.
you stay here. I'm gonna go talk to Paloma.
All right. I will. I'll hold down the fort. Take out the rock.
Ooh, I'm gonna stand like, I'm gonna give it like a COVID distance away and kind of like wave at Paloma.
She turns around and is like, Alexios! She comes and gives you a hug. It's like, come, we're having drinks. Do you want one?
Yes, please.
Come. Your Highness, I'm sure you remember. She goes, oh, yeah. King's Eye just sort of nods ahead at you. Paloma passes you a drink. She's like, so, you gonna compete with me?
What are you competing in?
Oh, I thought I'd throw my hat in the ring a couple things. Maybe archery, chariot, sword work.
I wasn't, but I think I kind of have to compete in archery now.
You're gonna compete against me in archery?
Yeah.
Oh,
Just
it's
like
so
old-
on.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. I look at the queen and bow again, and King's Eye, and that's more apprehensive. Like, I'm scared he might hurt me. My apologies for last time.
Water under the bridge.
Oh, that's actually very, very reassuring.
There's a truce in this city. I'm fucking with you.
I was like, next time he sees you outside of here, he's just on site, dead.
So how's Voltora? I missed the city.
The queeness goes, "We have a monster!" He goes, "Because of what happened when you were there, we no longer have a Colosseum. But because of the creature that lives within, we've been able to maintain some sort of tourist population. Fools that think that they can swim with the beast, and others that bet on how long they'll survive."
I look at the queen and say, wouldn't it be nice if, like, the monsters that were along the aisle were a little bit less so more people can see the land that you have?
I mean,
I say
Apotrepo's
that.
already gone.
I mean, but, like, the stretch of land, I mean, it's a pretty dangerous place. I mean, if it wasn't, although I'm not gonna lie, I'm sure Ares approves, but for the people who can't fight their way across, you know.
The Isle
Don't you
is
think
what the
that's
Isle
awesome?
is, for a reason. Ares has made it a gauntlet for the worthy to traverse through. It is meant to be a challenge, it's meant to be deadly, that is the point.
But I thought that's what the fort was for. Don't you think Ares' glory isn't quite for everyone?
I suppose. Why do you ask?
It was just a observation. You know, I love the land, so I often like to talk to other people who love the land about the land.
Well, we've certainly done that. You hear the queen goes, "You say land a lot."
I mean, I tend to repeat myself when I'm nervous. I mean, it's not every day you're in the glory of a queen.
There's like 4 queens in this room.
But it's not every day.
Can we just appreciate what she's gonna be like when she's a teenager real quick? That's all I can think about.
Her eyes go wide. She's like, "It's not any day, it's today." You're smart.
I've been told.
Wait, do they call Saya the young queen?
Yes.
What the heck do they call this child?
The child queen. Voltura's not in the same
The
category.
younger queen.
I was like, wait a damn minute, because
The toddler queen.
years old.
The mini
Infant
monarch.
queen. The preteen queen.
It's one thing to be a kid with a fort-bred protector that's helping you run the kingdom of a small town, versus a queen in charge of one of the largest alliances in the world without anyone guiding her. You know?
Got the hang of
Yeah.
So I kind of turn my attention back to King's Eye and I say, you know, we've recently actually traveled to Mount Olympus and met Ares himself.
Well, that puts you in a category with me then. I didn't see him on Olympus, but I had the honor of trading with him in the fort. Quite a miraculous creature.
Yeah, with the other gods, we actually had a more philosophical debate. Do you entertain yourself with such things?
I wouldn't call it my strength. You need some sort of philosophy to run a city, but that's not what we're known for on the Isle now, are we?
Right. But, I mean, to be around a queen, you have to be wise.
What are you getting at?
help on this debate, actually.
All right, let me hear it.
So, amongst us demigods, there are some who believe that in order to truly give God's glory, we must act in their interest, even when they aren't here to guide us, or even if they weren't here to guide us. Do you think that's correct?
Of course, we should live every day in the glory of the gods, regardless of if they're next to us or not.
Now, for a follower of Ares, is it safe to say, like, challenge or you being challenged would be a good thing?
Of course.
Now, I know a daughter of Ares, and we kind of talked about even though you followers of Ares do enjoy following him, of course, and I'm sorry. Even though you all enjoy following him, and he is very hands-on. If you don't have a chance to follow him when he's not around, you're not truly being challenged. Is it safe to say that?
You may have lost me a bit. I think there are plenty of challenges that he can give us while being next to us, and also challenges that he could give us while not being there at all.
That's where it kind of gets murky in my head, right? So, you go into battle, and you're always with the god of battle. How could you possibly lose?
Well, he is not the Fates. The Fates may choose to cut my string, in which case I lose. I lose in the glory of battle, a warrior's death, an honorable death.
But what about the battle? You could lose your life, but how could he lose the battle?
There are plenty of documented cases where halfway through a battle, Ares decides to switch teams, goes to where it's more interesting for him.
That's actually a thing?
Oh yes, whatever is interesting to him in the moment is what he'll pursue. Thus is the whims of the gods. That is why on every battlefield, every soldier, every warrior is always trying to prove himself worthy of Ares, to ensure that Ares either switches to his side or remains at his side.
But if he were to, or segue, if he were to pull you personally to his side, that would be something more concrete to show you that you have his favor?
If he were to pull me to his side, it would be a great honor, one of the greatest honors of my life. And I've been greatly honored already to train beside him.
Well, as demigods, we're talking about a future in Gaia where the gods weren't able to act on this earth, or
that would
act
be
on Gaia.
a disaster for the
Correct.
Isle of Ares.
Why do you think so?
You grew up here. You know that beyond the people that come to the Isle to trade for our weaponry and our armor and such, everyone else who comes to the Isle, which is a huge part of Voltura and the entire Isle's economy, are people who come to Fort Valor, or to try to seek their way to the fort. If Ares weren't at the fort, then why on earth would they battle to come?
wouldn't it be worship to Ares to do these battles and hold back the monsters on the island or on the island within itself?
I'm sure there would be some that would find glory in the act of fighting on the Isle, but for all of history, the reason to go through that gauntlet, the reward at the end, was to get the honor of training alongside the god himself. That is something that cannot be replicated.
What about the honor of doing the god's will? He puts you here or he wants you to battle. Why isn't the battle training enough?
Well, it is believed that it is Ares himself, his presence on the Isle, that allows him to create these vicious monsters of which to battle. If he were to leave, who is to say that the battles would dry up, that the monsters would be slain and never return again?
I mean, who's to say that they will?
There is a higher chance of that happening than the other. I have seen with my own eyes Ares conjure a monstrous creature and shove it onto the mountainside. I have seen it. This is all theoretical, of course. I am just merely saying that to your friends on the other side of the debate, I would say that they haven't thought about the Isle.
It's more literal than I would have you believe. When we went to Mount Olympus, we had a conversation with the gods and we discussed the mortals governing themselves.
And what did he say?
Now, I don't remember exactly.
He was against it. He was like, why would I give up being able to go down and like fight shit and battle and stuff? Why would I ever want that?
I'm gonna have to lie. More or less, well, what I got was he is willing to let you all accept whatever challenges you are willing to accept for yourselves.
Make a deception check.
It's my deception. Oh, okay. I'm gonna +5 that and make it a 19.
Okay. He looks at you for a while. In this thought experiment, should Ares leave Fort Valor and leave the Isle, the fort would remain. Those of us who trained under him would remain. But there would need to be some sort of new pull to maintain that level of interest in coming to the fort. You are of the Isle. If rumors are to be believed, you have a child of Ares amongst your ranks.
We do.
Tell me, are they a good fighter? Are they an accomplished warrior?
She's quite impressive.
Well, if she were to prove herself, perhaps she would be a draw. If she were to take up the mantle of Fort Valor, if she were to train the Aresians who wish to be trained by the blood of Ares himself. But without something like that, then I don't see us ever being on the same side of this debate.
I actually think it'll be something better.
Oh?
With this proposal, each god will have their own realm. So those who are truly worthy of Ares will be able to go to his home plane personally.
That is interesting. I'll tell you what. If your Aresian friend is able to convince her father of a new sort of system, where those who prove themselves earn their way into the fort, where they train under her, and if they are worthy within the fort, they can join Ares on his plane. If that is something that can be accepted and believed by the common peoples, then perhaps they would still come in waves to prove themselves into Fort Valor. But for that to be a viable option, your friend first needs to prove herself in the eyes of the commoners. I will tell you this. We already have a lot of athletes on our team, but what we don't have is a pentathlete. Have your friend fight for us, win the pentathlon, and we'll consider it a deal.
Deal.
A pleasure. Have her come to Vultura's housing, and we'll get her all sorted out.
Ariana's gonna murder you.
This now means the
is she good at
pentathlon
that?
is Ilion versus Ophelia versus this new Xandarian person versus Neriana.
Is she a good fit for the pentathlon?
I don't know, is she?
You only,
I don't remember.
can
She's
you only
strong.
have one representative from one place in
The pentathlon, each team gets a single pentathlete.
like archery?
Archery, you have multiple.
Alright.
There's only 2 events where a single person gets to be on the team, which is pentathlon and chariot.
I guess after all this, I have to find Ariana.
All right. Any other conversations in this big tent? Then, without
No.
further ado, after having a few drinks, a few conversations, eventually you all leave the tent for whatever comes next. That's where we're going to take our break. We'll be right back as we move closer and closer to the first day of the games. The politics are seeping. Lots of deals being made, lots of secrets being spread, lots of information in the wind. We'll see what it all means when we come back. Don't go anywhere. Hello and welcome back. So, right where we left off, you guys had exited the big main tent. You'd made some connections with some folks. You did have, Alexios has a meeting later tonight with the Emperor of Xander in the Xandarian quarters of this Olympic village. But beyond that, you've learned a few conditions. The King of Sparta, King Menelaus, will only sign if someone can beat, or if Alexios specifically can beat his son in one of his events. And Vultura will only get on board if Neriana wins the pentathlon for them. So, beyond that, what are you guys doing?
So, did I have this conversation with Adagio about messaging Canterang, and he can't because he doesn't
I
have
can't.
it.
I had all of my spells prepared, but I had one that was still open.
I'll
Like
say
I prepped 14 out of the 15.
I'll say, I mean, you prep sending almost every day. You had an open slot. I'll say you could prep sending. That's fine.
Yay!
Okay. Then can we send out this message to Canterang and see if she knows anything?
What am I saying?
I guess ask her if she knows of a plot with Devorian something another.
Halinodel.
Hey. I hear it and it just goes through my head, as in, like, that seems kind of difficult to spell. I don't want to spell it.
Halinodel. Halinodel.
Okay, so every time I hear it, I don't catch that H at all. And I'm like, what are you saying again?
Yeah. Devorian Halinodel.
Okay. Cool. So, ask if she knows of a plot with Devorian Halinodel and, the Emperor.
Hello. Helena Dell. All right, send a nice message to Canterang. At the Olympics, would you know of any plots or schemes against the Queen?
Is that it?
Where the heck is she the Queen of?
Athens?
Or anything involving, and then that name I definitely know how to pronounce. Helena Della.
Halinodel.
Adelina Dell.
You get a response back in sort of a hushed voice. She says, he's involved in every plot. I heard talk of a potential marriage proposal. Some sort of alliance. That's it.
Alright.
What's the people's? Weird.
No one let Ares hear this.
Oh.
Okay, so once I know that, I'll go back to manning the entrance again invisibly. Do I need to re-roll stealth?
Yes, for sure.
Okay. Jesus. Well, I guess that's one. Hey, looky there! I got a nat 20!
Nice. Yeah.
Plus 15?
Yeah, you're fine. You manage to sneak unseen around the big tent. You see folks coming and going. At this point, as the sun is setting and night is sort of coming, it's more people going than coming. As every team here has their own little mini village off of this main pathway. Most of the people you see are heading back to their own quarters for a meal and to rest for the evening. I will say, how long would you like to stay watching?
I want to stay watching until I see Devorian leave, because I want to follow him. But also knowing, like, that people can have, like, true sight and crap like that. I want to stay at least, like, 20 feet away from any people as possible. Hopefully that's enough. I don't know how far true sight goes.
Okay. It's usually a pretty close range. But it is possible that it could be further out. You wait a few hours before eventually you actually see Devorian leaving with the heiress, heiress Eviana, the Emperor's daughter, you assume. And you see he's sort of pulling her out, and because you can read lips, you can hear him saying to her, "You are embarrassing your father. Know your place. This is not your decision." And you can see her mouth moving. She goes, "But it should be. Well, thus is the circumstances of your birth. Now you will do as you are told. Now come." And he sort of ushers her away towards the Zendarian corner.
How old is she? Do we know?
16ish. 16ish.
Okay. Okay, I think I understand what might be going on now. Hopefully. Okay, yeah, so if he takes her, I still want to follow him some to see if he interacts with other people.
Sure. Following him from a safe distance, you see most people give him a bit of a wide berth. Those who are aware of their surroundings enough to see him give him a bit of a wide berth, just from his demeanor and his apparel. He seems very important. So people try to give him a wide berth. However, at this point in the night, there's plenty of drunk people or rowdy people, or even just commoners that have never been even close to Xander and have no idea what a fancy Xandarian looks like, who pay him no mind. And you can see he's actually a little bit annoyed having to sort of move around people sometimes. That would never happen in the streets of Xander, but here, anything goes.
Do I see, like, the people that go up next to him? Are there, like, any exchanges of information, like, as if some spy is trying to pass him along stuff?
Make a perception check.
Okay. Can I just use my passive?
Yeah.
Cool.
Which is what?
It's a 28.
A 28, yeah.
28.
At one point, there's two things that you notice. At one point, you see another sort of squire-looking halfling girl attempt to come and speak to him, and you see she's coming from the side that he's not carrying the heiress with, and he, with a flick of his wrist, shushes her away, and they never actually interact. The feeling from your perceptive eye, very clearly like, not when I'm with the heiress. Come find me later, whatever. However, you also notice at one point some commoner in Xandarian garb seems to try to catch the heiress's attention, and she gives this girl a stare as well of like, not when I'm with Devorian.
Okay. Who do I choose? I'm gonna go and follow the person that the princess indicated.
Okay. So you follow this. It looks like an elven Xandarian girl, around the same age as the heiress. Although it's hard to tell with elves. But as the paths sort of diverge, you follow this girl instead. As you see her sticking to the shadows mostly, you can tell immediately that she has some roguish training, but she's not nearly as gifted in this as you are. And this is very clearly unfamiliar territory for her. So she's just slipping around past the Xandarian territory, through a couple other camps of different groups, and you get the sense from her behavior that this is a low-level rogue attempting to avoid being tailed. I will need you to now make an active perception check.
Okay. That wasn't that one.
Oof. So, you are following this girl. She passes behind a small tent, and you wait a few seconds and then pass behind it as well, and on the ground you see a Xandarian robe. And looking up, you realize this girl has changed out of view, and you have no idea what she's wearing now. And unfortunately, you lose her in the crowd.
Okay. I think I'm gonna probably head back for now and work on my disguise some more.
Sure. Where are you heading back to?
Probably roughly our Athens
Okay.
section.
So here's the interesting thing. You head to the Athenian quarters, and you can't help but notice an elven girl in Athenian commoners' robes walking into the Athenian area as well, who looks very much identical to the Zendarian girl.
No way.
Who happened
No
to be
way.
she was going to Athens as well.
That's great. Okay, keep going.
Which is truly amazing. You were so dejected. You're like, fuck, I can't believe this is what I do. This is what I'm good at. I can't believe I missed her. And you almost run into her as you're both heading towards Athens.
This is great.
So you do a quick double take, and then continue your following of her. And she heads towards... So the way that these Olympic villages are set up, there is a large central tent for the royalty, the high society people, all that kind of stuff. There's a bunch of smaller tents that commoners themselves have set up, just so that they can like be within the Athenian grounds, but aren't necessarily traveling with anyone. And then there is a separate little compound as part of this area for the athletes. There is a small gymnasium. There are, some practice areas, that sort of thing in each area. Although the larger gymnasium is in Pheloy proper. But each place has a little training area for the athletes. You see that she's heading towards the athletes' tent.
Yeah, keep going.
Okay. She heads toward the tent, but stops short of actually entering it. And you see she goes to a very specific part of the outside of the tent and lifts the bottom of it up just enough, and you can tell immediately this is some sort of sign to someone in the tent. That's enough that no one else would notice it except for someone looking specifically for this sort of ripple in the tent. And then she goes off into the tree line just out of visual sight. You follow behind. Make a stealth check for me.
With advantage.
Yeah.
Right. That is a 28.
28, okay. Without a sound, you stay close behind the trees, and eventually you see a figure come meet this girl by the trees, hooded, and she takes the hood off, and you see a mane of beautiful red hair, Ophelia. And you can read lips, and even though it's dark, you can see that this girl is talking to Ophelia and saying, "I'm sorry, she's with that scary guy. I don't think she can meet you tonight. Something seems like something's wrong. She seemed really upset." Ophelia's just, damn. Okay, when you can get a message to her, just let her know that I'm thinking of her, and maybe we can try again tomorrow. Of course, yeah. And she scurries off. Ophelia sort of looks around, puts the hood back up, and goes back into the athletes' quarters.
Oh my gosh! Oh man! Okay, Cool. Okay, now I think I am definitely going to try and find all the rest of the Hands of Fate and tell them what happened, and I have a plan. I need to tell them.
All right.
Yeah.
I assume that eventually you all find yourselves to the Athenian quarters to rest for the evening, unless anyone wants to correct me.
I got a meeting.
You do have a meeting. So, Alexios, you head to the Zendarian quarters. Very proper. There's lots of arcane candlelight lighting the Zendarian area. Zendarian guards are standing by, but they are expecting you, and they allow you entry into the large central tent. You see the Emperor sitting on a sort of makeshift throne. Currently, it's just him and Aricto daughter of Hecate here, as you
Did you say we all made it back to the Athenian tent or the Athenian living quarter?
Yeah, yeah.
Before I go, can I just meet up with Honora
Absolutely.
and say, listen, I have a meeting with the Emperor of Xander. If I'm not back by morning, I'm probably dead.
Do you want me to go with you so you're not alone?
No, it was heavily implied that it was a come by yourself or else thing. My words,
I
not
will say
theirs.
he can't exactly kill you because of the truce. He knows that.
If you see a Rakshasa, run.
I think
yeah,
point
Nora looks
is
up.
to
If you
not see a Rakshasa.
Please don't be Ryujin. Please run.
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you all. Well, telling you, so you could possibly tell everyone. Because if I don't go missing, don't tell anyone.
You know you are very confusing sometimes.
In case I go missing, I'm here. If I don't go missing, we never had this conversation.
This is why it took you so long to get together with Cora. I understand now.
I like to think that we have a wonderful relationship, and it is mostly because of me and my good communication skills.
Yep. Keep telling yourself that one, buddy.
Thank you.
Have fun at your meeting. Please don't die. I'll keep an eye out if you're not back. I'll let everyone know that you're probably dead in a ditch somewhere. We'll figure it out. We'll come
Alright.
find you. I can cast reincarnate. You just might not be a Thespian anymore.
If I die, I'll let you know.
What?
So, fast forwarding, you now enter the tent with the Emperor and his advisor here. The Emperor just nods at you. I see you found your way.
Yeah. May I?
The floor is yours. Your meeting, as they say.
I can have a seat or something. I don't want
I prefer you stand.
to. All right. Nice of you. Where am I? Well, as I was saying before, we had a meeting with the gods, and in that meeting, we proposed that we all, or us mortals, take more control of our destiny, and we'd have the gods interact with us less. And in order for this to go through, I need certain signatures and approvals.
And you would need me to sign this paper of yours.
We figured, due to your disposition, you wouldn't have a problem with it.
This is interesting. You see Arito stands. She goes, I am a bit perplexed that your group of all people are the ones proposing this change. I have heard of you as defenders of the gods, loyal subjects, loyal servants. Is that not right?
Somewhere along the line, we discovered, or we figured that being loyal to the gods means being loyal to the people. And we decided that we have to look out for the people. The gods don't need our help for that.
So it is your wish to have the people rule ourselves and banish the gods from here.
And handle our problems on our own.
How fascinating.
Do you disagree?
Surprisingly, I don't. I expected to disagree with whatever you said. But here you are, advocating for a godless world. Well, we are not godless people, the Emperor and I. We will have to consult our patron before agreeing to your terms.
Your patron?
My mother.
By all means.
You know, I am a bit interested. If rumor is to be believed, part of the reason that you were trying to get to Olympus was to make some sort of decision about the links of Tartarus as well, is that right? Tell me, what would happen to the Titans in your new world?
They would be, well... We're not putting them back in Tartarus. This is out of character, right? We're not putting them back in Tartarus. They're free to go to their respective...
The gods wouldn't let us do some of them, though. They didn't want Kronos and, the water one.
Oceanus.
Yeah. Oceanus. They didn't want those two. And I'm pretty sure Nemosynes would.
I say some will be free to do what they will as links, and some will be under the god's personal watch.
Fascinating. Well, I must say, I am rather uneasy. The Emperor and I have both experienced some sort of change in our connection with our patron in the last few days. Feels as if she's pulled back already. You wouldn't happen to know why that would be, would you?
Not at liberty to say. Plead the fifth.
I don't really know, but it could have something to do with a string of disappearances that we've experienced. You wouldn't know anything about that, would you?
I haven't the faintest idea to what you're referring.
Well, look at us. We're on equal footing, right?
Indeed. Emperor? It is an interesting proposal. I will tell you this. Tonight we shall convene with our patron to consult, and if everything is in order, then return to us on the morn, and I shall sign whatever it is I must sign.
I don't
want the world to see me.
With respect, I think the point of all this was for us to be able to make decisions on our own without the gods. I was there when the conversation happened, and I can tell you that you're not gonna get much help. You're better off making the best decision for yourself, be it good or bad.
All the same, I have been emperor for hundreds of years. If I have learned anything, it is to sleep on all big decisions. So, I shall ponder and return to you in the morning with an answer.
That's fair. And can I turn towards She's not known commonly as the Countess, right?
She is. Her title is the Grand Countess of Development.
Okay.
Yeah.
And her school or the academy is well known, or is it like hidden?
Very well known. I mean, it's akin to the Library of Alexandria. The Heka Institute, there's not a lot is known about what happens inside, but the institution itself is extremely famous.
I turn to the Countess and say, I'm actually interested in the school that you run. Maybe once this is resolved, maybe we can trade notes.
She smiled. The library is, of course, open to all, but the institute, not quite as free, I'm afraid.
I hope that once this is all cleared up, we won't have a reason to be enemies. Possibly allies. We're all going to be on Gaia. There's no point in warring forever.
Even if that were the case, the Institute is exclusively only for Zendarian citizens. If you're not in the Empire, there is no chance for you to see it.
I guess I'll have to respect that.
As much as
It's
I
been
would
a pleasure.
love to have you there are secrets all must keep.
You know what? I'm just gonna go.
Sleep well, Alexios.
Thank you. You have a wonderful night. See you at the games.
You leave and make your way back to the Athenian campground, where you all share notes and find your rest for the night. Now, there are still a few days before the games begin, and on the first day of the official games, the trials commence for the equestrian and the long-distance running events. Those are the first things that happen on day one. So, in the lead-up to day one, is there anything you guys would like to do before now and then?
Sorry.
I want to talk to the group about what I found and an idea that I potentially have for us. As long as if Alexios tells us how his talks went, because I need to know that information.
Absolutely.
Okay. Cool. So I'll tell them about it and how I think that Sparta and Xander are trying to make an alliance through marriage with the princess and the prince, and how there's a secret love of Ophelia and the princess, what's her name?
The heiress, Eviana.
Eviana. Okay, cool. I couldn't remember her name. And how I think, depending on how the prince feels about this marriage, we could have a potential to maybe rig the pentathlon more in favor for Neriana. As meaning, if we can convince the prince, if he's not feeling up to this marriage, and if Alexios told us that he was really nervous, that might be a hint that he might not like this marriage proposal. And if we can convince him to throw it, it could ruin the marriage in general, since he would prove that he is not good. Does that make sense? We just have to be able to try and talk to him and ensure his feelings about this. And then the same thing with maybe Ophelia. We can try and convince her to also throw it in favor of Neriana so that we can get this deal to go through that we have.
May?
Yes.
I didn't tell Neriana that she would have to compete at all. Didn't mention.
We're gonna have to.
Just saying, she has no idea. So, first things first, she has to agree to it.
She's gonna have to agree to it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about this.
Pheloy will force her to agree to it, no matter if there's a no fighting rule or not.
We have to have all signatures, and if this is the only way to get Voltura's signature, then she has to.
I still think Water Pony would be a good way to get the signature, honestly.
Yeah, that last ditch.
I said Water Pony or the Godstone would be the last ditch as well.
Yeah.
We've already have proven ourselves to Ares.
Ryujin, would you be against giving the Queen of Voltura one of your super secret hippogriffs? Or not? It's not hippogriff.
Hippocamps?
Hippocamp. Close! Damn it. Hippocamp? Like, you have, like, a few, right?
I think there's a couple right now. Maybe not right away, but in the future after I'd had some time to, like, you know, I guess breed them and have more.
You gonna give her a new one? They have like the whole flooded arena now. She has like a pool and she could like.
Yeah, I mean, I will say, Ryujin, hippocamps are constantly getting bred at Fort Agnor. That's part of like what they do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, then yeah.
All right, that's a move. Yeah, the archery thing that I'm gonna have to do. And those are mostly, I talked to Xander last night. They're gonna talk to Hecate. Don't know how that's gonna work.
Well,
I think she can use magic. She's just not a goddess so much.
But she's gonna blame us for this, and if they talk to her, she's probably gonna tell them no, don't sign it because it's us.
Okay, but think about this. Hecate. I'm pretty sure she's gonna be like, if I can't be a goddess, I don't want anybody to be divine, right?
Well, the gods are still divine, though. They're just not on Gaia.
But I mean, that might be a thing that since she's not as powerful anymore, that she might want it to where nobody is there.
That's true.
You can try and play that.
Well, they've already told her there's nothing we can play, really.
Not to be a warmonger, does anybody else feel like immediately after they agree we're gonna have to, like, finish what Adagio started in the library, just in case they have any special magic to reverse that?
I am already working on a way to get into their ranks.
I
thought you were talking about burning the library.
No. Just getting in their ranks.
We're gonna gather every cleric in the world and fireball.
I'll say right now, as far as looking towards the future, I've talked about it. I'm doing my best to not look towards the future right now. I just want to take this one thing at a time.
Yeah. And then on the topic of trying to get signatures, we need to talk with the people of Hearthstone to get the gnomes, people of Dracora for the Dragonkin, and then Sylvan for the elves' signature. So we need to talk to them and see what they want.
I'll talk to
I was going to go ahead and start out on the elves today. Because I was going to compete for fun, but I would also know that, like, I know how to talk to them at least a little bit.
Okay. Cool. So, who wants to take on Dracora? Do we know any
Dragonborns?
dragonkin?
Yeah, I mean, you know, Ferryman Petrin back in Delphi. Most of the Dragonborn you've met recently have been Tiamat people who you've killed.
Ooh. Oh, wait, can I use my disguise that I have of being in the one at the green? Was it the green one that I did?
Yeah.
Okay, so I think I'll handle Dracora then to try and suss out what they want using my disguise. So then we just have Hearthstone.
The gnomes?
Yes, the gnomes. So
They're smart. I could work with gnomes.
Okay. Cool. I'm just trying to like put all of our ducks in a row here, so that we're ready. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, over the next 4 or 5 days you have before the games start, what are the things that you would like to accomplish in that time?
Can I speak to Nariana?
Absolutely. You get her as she's doing her morning workout.
Perfect timing.
Hey, what's up?
Not much. Being around all these athletic people makes me feel like I'm weak, so I gotta pump some iron.
So, feel like you want to compete?
Might throw my hat in the ring.
Oh, happy you thought of it. Any events you're planning on?
I think discus might be quite strong for me.
Pentathlon, not?
Oh,
Something-
probably not. I mean, I'm not the most nimble on my feet.
Hmm.
Why do you ask?
Because you're gonna have to.
What?
Okay, listen. And his posture kind of like drops into like we're friends and equals kind of. Listen, we got a lot of big shit going, and I have this tendency to let my mouth run when I'm around people who make me nervous. And somewhere along the lines, you got signed up to do the pentathlon for Voltura.
What? I've never even been to Voltura.
Hmm?
I've never been to Voltura. Why would I do the pentathlon? Why would I do it for them?
Listen, it's I think the correct word is sovereignty, right? You have never been to Voltura, but it is your father's land,
Sure.
technically, and that makes you part of the land. In
Why
their
am I-
eyes.
Why am I doing the pentathlon for them, though?
Okay, so you remember when we went up to Olympus and we had the whole
Yeah, I'm
Yep.
very familiar.
them being a very Aries-centric land said, "Hey, you know, a daughter of Aries," and I was like, "Yep, she's the greatest." That's you that I said that about, and they said, "Hey, she should be formidable and be able to win the pentathlon for us." And I was like, you know what? If there was 2 pentathlons, she'd be able to do it.
I feel like I'm still missing a step here. Why am I doing it for? Just to prove that I'm a daughter of Ares?
Just because you're a daughter of Ares and they want you to prove yourself.
Why do they care if I prove myself?
Now, this is where it gets murky for me because the whole, like, glory thing. I think he said something along the lines of, without the fort and Ares present at the fort, there's less reason for people to come to the Isle and worship Ares. So you're something like a figurehead?
So, you signed me up to win a pentathlon, and my prize for doing so would be to live in Fort Valor for the rest of my life?
I don't think he said that.
But you want me at Fort Valor?
Ah, I think the step that I skipped was if you do this, we get the signature.
I see. Well, of course I'd be honored, but I can't go up against Ophelia and Ilion and whatever secret weapon the Zendarians have. There's no way I could win.
Okay. I feel like as a daughter of Ares, you'd be staunchly against cheating. So we're gonna try it different. What was that? What was that?
I mean, it's just really hard to cheat at the Olympics, you know? But if you, I mean, you're a smart guy. Look,
I am surprised and happy with where you're going with this.
My own personal morals are one thing, but if this is to get a signature, it goes beyond me. So if you can figure out a way, I need all the help I can get.
I didn't think I was gonna have a chance to think about this. You're really like, you're a really stand-up person. I didn't think that.
I've devoted my life to Ares. I'm not gonna stop now, but I will be fully straight with you. I have no confidence in my ability to do this.
Just.
Now, luckily, I mean, pentathlon's not until the end of the third week, so we have time, and I'll spend that time training. But even that, I could appreciate you trying to figure out ways to help me.
Oh, I can figure out a way to cheat anything in weeks. But I just need your approval to say that you're going to do this.
I will do it, and I will do whatever it is you can help me with, so long as I think that there's not a very good chance of anyone finding out.
No, I like you way more than I initially thought I would. Paladins are generally a drag, but I asked you what you're doing after this, right? You ever thought about teaching?
I mean, I guess I've thought about teaching at Fort Valor.
Sorry to put you out of a job.
Just let me get back to my workout, alright? You think.
You might want to report to the Voltura training tent, though. Just saying.
Yep. I'll get my shit.
You're
Takes
welcome.
her giant sword and puts it around her back and moves out.
I might be competing in archery there. See you.
See you.
Didn't send her alone.
He's excited.
I'm so excited.
I love Mariana. She's perfect.
So what do we need to work on for Nariana to actually win?
I mean, the real struggle for her is just that her dex score is 10.
She can't swim. She can't run.
She can't swim. She can't run. She will be fine at javelin, but really she's maxed out on strength, but her dex is absolute shit. She is definitely not built to be a pentathlete.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it had like a hockey element where you could like fight everyone who pisses you off.
If they just need to get a laurel and discus, she'd be fine.
They probably got a lot of people for that, though.
It'll be fine. We have a beginning of a plan.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Sammy, which one's the
Takeaways
two competitions again that multiple people can compete in? I was typing it out and I stopped.
Oh, there's multiple people in everything except for chariot and pentathlon.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
everything
wrote
else you
down
can have
was
multiple people.
Pentathlon. I didn't write down chariot.
And actually, let me double check. I think Chariot, there are like 2 or 3 teams that have 2 represented. Yeah, let me see here.
Okay, well, I have to compete in arcane marksmanship because apparently, if Honora fails at it, I in real life have to send Alexius $2 for failing.
Great. Yeah, so Sparta and Athens are the only teams that get 2 chariots. Other than that, everyone gets 1.
Oh, rude.
Apparently, if Honora fails, just because I'm so set up with it for guiding bolt, I in real life owe Alexius $2 because he's going to bet on Honora.
I think that's great. So, anyone else joining teams?
Yes.
Ilme?
Yes. I'm gonna go with my disguise of the green cult of Tiamat and go to where Dracora is at.
Absolutely.
And see if I see anybody that I knew of with my time in the cult.
Absolutely. You make your way to the Dracoran quarters, and because of your disguise, they let you in very easily. You do see lots of other Dragonborn here, but not a ton of green. You know that Dracora specifically, while it welcomes all types, generally it's a lot of red and gold and bronze. Definitely more red than gold and bronze currently. You definitely see more chromatic types than metallics, which is not super normal. But you don't see anyone you recognize, but you do see the Kultar, which is essentially Draconic for king, or leader, sovereign. He's a gold dragonborn. His name is Romaphemius Thickskin. He's got these thick golden blades of scales, and with a quick poke around, especially with your disguise and all that, you quickly learn that Romaphemius was the Kultar of Dracora before the cult took over, and since the cult has taken over, he's essentially more of a figurehead. They've sort of stripped him of most of his power, but they have allowed him to keep the crown for appearances more than anything.
Would I know of one of the leaders of the cult that's around here, or at least know of them?
You would know. Well, you wouldn't know, but with your disguise and sort of poking around in this area for a while, you would know that there is a red dragonborn named Ibikos, who seems to pull the Kultar strings on most affairs.
Is there a way for me to talk to him? Is he like available to talk to? Does he look like I can approach him?
Yes. It's hard because you are a non-dragonborn in here, so you're always getting looks. But because of the papers that you have and that sort of thing, it does allow you into several rooms. So I will say that you can get your way into a room with Ibikos. It's sort of like they've set up a bit of a bar, and there's lots of dragonborn throughout. You're one of the few non-dragonborn in here, but getting into this room means that you are either a member of the cult or you are cool with the cult.
Okay. Then I would like to approach Ibikos and go up to him and tell him that I have some important information for you that I think you would like to hear.
You see he's sitting at a table nursing a drink, and as you speak, he sort of looks up. You see he's somewhat elderly, but thick, strong build. He's got a scar down a bit of his snout, and he has these brown dreadlocks that are curled and wrapped together behind him. He goes, "Aye, and who might you be?"
Yeah, what did I call my name? I did this. Oh man. We'll just go with, they call me, Isla.
Not used to seeing fleshies around here.
There's a reason for that. Since I am a so-called fleshy, much easier to get in with other organizations around the world, and I learned an important tidbit that I think he would like to know.
What news do you bring then, friend?
Well, I'm sure you've heard of what the Hands of Fate were up to a few days ago.
I hear the rumors.
Well, I have it pretty much confirmed that they did talk with the gods, and they came up with a deal that I think would be in your interest.
Well, get out with it then.
They want to banish all gods from Gaia, and I feel like this would be the perfect opportunity, with no gods on Gaia, to continue what this cult is here to do.
He stares at you for a while. Seems too good to be true, girl. What's the catch?
I just need a signature. You need to approach them and say you'll sign for the Dragonborn for this to happen. But they do have to have signatures from multiple places, and I'll give them the list of what we need for this to happen.
Interesting. Well, I'll tell our dear Kultar. Perhaps he should be making a meeting with these humans. I hesitate to put my own name on such a thing. I prefer to work in the shadows, as I'm sure you know.
Yep. Well, I figured this would be some good news for the cult,
Indeed.
and that's why I came.
Curious.
Yep, and if you'll excuse me, have some more investigating to do.
Aye. Keep up the work. Boys, another round.
Okay, that was awesome.
Mere hours later, back in the Athenian campground, you all get a message delivered from the Kultar of Drachora, asking for an audience with the Hands of Fate.
I'll grab everybody and tell them what happened, and me and Adagio will not be present for this because we are not supposed to be here. So,
You guys, the rest of you, go to this meeting. The Kultar, as thick and powerful as he is, has actually a fairly soft presence to him. But you see this red dragonborn is by his side as he has this meeting. They don't pose any problems to you, and the Kultar is more than happy to sign for the Dragonkin.
Hey, Pheloy.
They don't even look at me funny.
LMAW.
I feel like we're hiding Alexios because we're like, we don't want the son of Hephaestus in the front.
Well, here's
of
the
this.
thing that's interesting is that the cult is very confused because this is something that they would love to do, and they don't understand why you guys are the ones doing it. But after looking at the contract and strategizing about, like, they don't see where this is getting them in the ass. It just genuinely feels like something that they want to do.
It's actually not getting them in the ass. Would you believe we're not actually backstabbing someone for once?
Right. So they're
By the
like,
way,
I don't know how our priorities are aligned, but they are.
Yeah, can I just pose that to everyone? Should we be alarmed at the fact that, like, no one's angry about, like, this?
Yeah.
I mean,
If Tiamat
Xander...
ever comes back, we're fucked. We're gonna have to fight that alone. by ourselves on
Well,
Gaia.
that's the thing. We have one of the scales, and they don't know that, so it's not like they can actually.
And we could
It's
just
not like
stab-
all of the secrets get laid out on the table when this happens. We still keep our secrets, they still keep theirs.
No,
I
no,
mean,
no,
we're
I get
kind
all
of
that, but I'm
giving
just
out
saying
like
that,
the best
as a player,
secrets.
looking at it from like an overhead point of view, if they were ever in the future to get those skills, maybe even after our characters were to die, no gods would come help. They wouldn't be able to. This would be, it'd be rough.
Listen,
what if
But
we,
we
second
were
campaign's not your problem.
And
what
put
if
it
we
back.
stab one of the dragons with the arrow too, and then they also get banished?
Would
Well,
that
we
only work
also
for
work-
divine?
Yeah, it has to be a celestial.
Does that have to be a celestial?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tiamat not.
But we also were talking about, like, you know, making this council of people that rotate out. They would be tasked with things like we're doing now, like protecting that scale.
We only need all the scales to bring Tiamat back, not kill one of the dragons, right?
So the original dragons can't be killed without Dragon's Doom, but Dragon's Doom is also needed with the scales to bring back Tiamat.
Okay, so all we need,
Right.
they need to get the
Dragon's Doom
scale
is
from us, but all we need is the sword and to kill one of them. That's easy.
Yeah.
Now we also,
It's
let's
not
keep
too
in mind,
bad.
the last time we faced off with one of these dragons, we almost died. If said dragon hadn't just left us alone, we would be dead.
But we have
We
time
was
to.
taking it easy on her.
This is a future conversation. We are talking about contingencies like said council and things like that. It's not like we were unprepared for the idea that this would happen. We knew that there was going to be problems that we had to face alone.
Yeah, it's just like dragons not being uncomfortable about it makes me uncomfortable. I'm just second guessing. That's it. That's
I mean, Xander not being fully uncomfortable with it made me very uncomfortable, but
Speaking of, you also get a message from a Zendarian messenger asking for you guys to come to their campground as well.
all of us or just Alexios?
They specifically just ask for the document.
More than one of us should probably go.
yeah, we all should go. Yeah,
Let's just all go on this one, yeah.
Don't leave me.
Emperor
Well, not all
Gilro,
of us. 3 of us. But
Yeah.
Well, 3 of us will, yeah.
Emperor
What does it
Gilro
matter, people?
says, I consulted with my own conscience and my patron, and I feel comfortable putting my name on this document.
I mean, we do know Hecate is just... this is out of character. We all do know Hecate is very petty, and she might see this as a way of getting back at God, so we might need to take this and run with it.
And what? I need to know. What did your patron say?
You just won't tell us that shit?
Make a persuasion check.
I need to know.
If this man tells us that, I'm gonna be so surprised.
I need to know if she was like, "Hey, those fuckers took my powers."
Out of character, can we know what she said?
Depends on how he rolls.
I just want to know as a person, not a player.
13 plus 7,
I'll add to it.
unnatural 20.
I'm a wheel, so
plus
I'll
5.
add.
Okay.
Add a 5 to that.
So 30.
Yep.
He goes,
I know.
my patron is much like my people, the Drow. We have lived long lives, and we are very patient. My patron is perhaps the most patient creature in the universe. That's it.
Only slightly concerning. Can we get out of here before they actually do try and murder us? I don't exactly trust them even with the truce.
That wasn't as satisfying as I wanted it to be.
I was
was-
expecting her to like curse.
What did
us
you
and be
do to
really
my
funny.
goddess?
It's that like thing at the end of a superhero movie where the villain is in jail but is like laughing and you're like,
Yeah.
they're exactly where they wanna be.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like Thanos being okay with his head getting cut off. Spoiler, but It's been a couple of years now.
Yeah, exactly. So, 2 more signatures down. As the days continue on, we have Neriana signed up in Voltura. Oh, I will also say, Ryujin, you get a message from Nepeot to visit them in their campground as well. Everyone's invited, but it's specifically addressed to you.
Yeah, I've been waiting to. I was gonna talk to him after everyone else did their stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, I will definitely go.
So you see, the Nepeot delegation does not exist. It's a complete empty campground besides the 2 men that you saw in the tent earlier, King Anagonios and the ambassador. The ambassador is the only person competing. And he's only doing the swim event and the Arcana event. Those are the only ones he feels qualified to do, and it's more symbolic than anything. They are at the very bottom of the rankings. They have 1 athlete. That's not their priority right now. They just want to show the world that Nepeot is still here. The Tritons are still here, and they're not going anywhere. That being said, Ryujin, you are not of our city, and so we do not take offense. But you and your friends have done a great service to our people. If any of you wish to compete in the games, we would be more than happy to have you on our team, representing our people as the saviors of our people.
Yeah, I'd be more than happy to. I probably will also only do, swimming, arcane, marksmanship, and maybe chariot, but that's still to be decided. I'm not fit for much else, but yeah, I would love to.
That's wonderful to hear. And of course, please do extend our invitation to all of your friends. We have no wool over our eyes. We know we will not win these games, but the more that we can show the world that we are still strong, the prouder our people will be. Thank you. And he gives you a little Nepeotian pin to put on your toga. The Nepeotian pin, by the way, the sigil of Nepeot is a drowned man. It's a man upside down on a blue background.
Okay.
So, Ryujin has joined a team. Anyone else want to join teams?
I have to head over to the Sylvan delegation still, and I might join theirs. It just depends on how it goes.
Absolutely. You head over to the Sylvan delegation. A few figures you recognize. King Varys Leodon, and of course, your friend, Arcanist Alar Zena Vodel is here as well.
She's an elf, right?
They're a drow.
They're a drow. So would that count for elves, though, right?
Sure.
Okay.
And the king is a high elf.
Okay, because I'm going to talk to both of them, but I was going to go talk to her first, because I love the king, but the king has occasionally got some wool over his eyes. Very much so.
Excuse me, I love the King of Sullivan. I have a whole song dedicated to him.
I remember.
What a man.
The Arcanist gives you a hug. Oh, it's so good to see you. You look so well. What are you doing?
Have you heard what we were up to on God's site today?
It is the talk of the Olympics, my friend.
Sounds about right. Well, what have you heard?
I've heard that you went there to do whatever it is that you did, and you've come down with some new ideas about the god's role in the universe.
Yes. So, long story short, I'll just give you our idea and know that we have a way that the gods will agree to it. Our idea is that the gods become more hands-off with Gaia. So they'd still have their champions that could influence Gaia as champions, but not as, these big divine beings that have way more control and way more power. They would have their own individual little realms, basically, within a specific realm. So, like, Poseidon, of course, will take the water plane, things like that. That way, they have their own area they have control of. Their followers can still go to them if they wish, but it lets the people rule for the people at that point.
And for this, you need what from us?
We have to have a signature from basically all of the big ruling parties. So the Athenian Alliance, Sparta, Xander, Ice Point, and Voltura, plus the races that represent a majority of Gaia, which would include the elves.
You would like me to sign for all of the elves?
Either you or the king. I wanted to talk to you first because, in my experience, I've had just an experience in kings in general. I haven't had the best experience.
Of course. Well, I think it would be hard for anyone to feel like they represent all of their people. That is quite a large thing to say. However, I think I am comfortable in saying that while there are elves who have formed very strong connections to the gods, they are never our gods. They are your gods. The human gods, the whatever gods. My people, we existed long before the gods. We were born in the Age of Titans, and even that, when the Titans were gone, many of my people have just sort of not found a particularly strong connection to the new gods. I myself, I have nothing against the gods, but I trust in the works that you and society are doing. If you would like my signature, of course I will give. I will also say, Sylvan typically is not particularly strong in the games, but you are very strong and of course have Sylvan blood in you. So if you wish to compete with us, we would not say no, of course.
I was gonna ask if you wanted me to compete for anything.
Of course.
After everything that's happened and everything that I've gone through to get to this point, even if some of my darkest memories started in Sylvan, it's what made me who I am today. And I mean, I've got a relationship back with my parents that I never thought I would have. So.
Well, then welcome to the team. What would you like to compete in?
There's a couple of different things I'd like to compete in. First, real quick, just to get the signature squared away, would you rather the king sign for it as, like, political-wise? Is that a better idea? I trust your judgment on that. I'm never sure where that really goes.
King ponders for a bit. When those demons were terrorizing our city, it was not I who took control. It was my friend here. It was you. It would be my honor to have the Arcanist sign in my place.
Thank you. And I'll look to both of them. I can't express how much it means. As one of the few examples used with the gods of how the gods playing in lives messes things up.
The Arcanist signs and then gives you a Sylvan pin with the symbol of Sylvan, the ironwood tree under the stars. And they have openings for every event. So however many events you'd like to do, you just let me know.
Okay. Real quick while I'm still talking to them before I go back, I just want to look at them. I have a question.
Of course.
More of a favor to ask at some point in time. You know what happened with my father?
Of course, it was tragic.
I know of a way to free his soul from the contract. It's not going to be cool. It's going to really, really suck. It's very final for me. And when it happens and I get to that point, I won't be around to look out for them anymore at all. And I know it's a lot to ask, but when it comes to that point, because I know it has to come to that point, because they literally aren't even in their house anymore because he's roaming so much. Would you just keep an eye out for him?
Of course. And, my friend, I am a trained arcanist. If you wish for me to find out other ways for you to solve your problem, I would be more than happy to.
I'd appreciate it. I've talked to the party about it, of course, and because I trust you, I'll tell you what happened. We had to go to the underworld at one point, and I talked to Hades. And as Hades saw it, the only way that he can see me being able to break the contract, since it is locked in Tartarus, is when I go to the underworld for the final time, I would be allowed to go through Tartarus to break said contract.
Well, there is one other way.
There's another way?
Of course. It's the most powerful spell in all the world. The wish.
I don't know any. Can you cast wish? Because I don't know anybody.
No, it is a very, very strong spell, but there are some who possess this power. I will research for you. It is the least we can do. I will tell you this. Win us a laurel, and I guarantee I will find someone who can do this for you.
I want to look to her. Like, you don't have to promise that. I will say, if within a month or so after all of this dies down, if nothing has come of it, I will have to do that. The last time I saw my mother when I scribed, she was wearing herself very, very thin, trying to keep up with my father's soul.
And I will let you in on a secret. I will try this for you even if you do not win a laurel, but I thought it would be fun for you to get a laurel and then wish, you know.
I mean, I'm gonna do my best to get you a laurel. You helped us out a lot.
Of course. Okay.
I'll let you know what I want to compete in very soon.
Sure, you got it. Anyone else wish to compete?
I mean, I'll compete. I just don't know who I'm competing for.
Well, you tell me.
I don't know. I was leaving it open so I could just compete with, whatever ends up we need it.
I mean, Delphi has openings. Athens has openings.
Do we know of if one of the cities is like mostly dwarven or mostly?
Yes, Giantsbane is the largest dwarven-run city in Gaia.
Okay, and then what about for halfling?
Hearthstone.
I thought that was gnomes.
Oh, sorry, that was gnomes. Yes, halflings.
So,
they don't have their own cities. But they're very common in lots of places.
We haven't talked to anybody for Ice Point yet.
Correct.
No, but I figured it was gonna be Lathos.
Yeah, but I'm saying like we haven't done that yet.
Well, I will remind you that when you left Ice Point, you left the Lord of Ice Point, the arch nemesis of Lathos, alive.
No.
So he owes us.
Yeah, you left him
Yeah,
alive.
we did kill him.
You humiliated him, but you left him alive.
Then
Also,
who
we
did we
left him
murder in the lair?
Not him.
Not him.
So Ice Point's gonna be hard, man.
We
He
missed.
hates
He owes us because we didn't kill him.
But we humiliated him.
We killed his homies.
But we
That's
didn't.
all of them.
We spared his life, so he does kind of owe us for sparing his life.
Sure.
I don't know if he's gonna see it that way.
I mean, we could get
Remember-
one very easily.
Not only did he get publicly beaten by Lathos, you also stole his staff of frost.
What?
Let's not
Wait,
send Lathos
Who would
to do
randomly
this.
grab a staff of frost off the floor in the middle of a what? Who would?
Listen,
Oh
listen.
my!
Let's
I
not
have so
send
many magic
Lathos to
items.
do
It's a
this.
staff of frost. Are you kidding me? Of course I'm taking it. Fuck that guy.
I'm pretty
Oh
sure.
my
I
gosh.
Oh, I got my Dragonborns mixed up.
Um,
Yeah.
I was thinking about the blue one.
Yeah, this is the white one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
do we know of like any halflings that are like high up in society?
Well, you know, Key 3 is a halfling in Delphi. She's also the coach of the Delphi team.
Do they have to be high up in society?
No.
Yeah,
What's
speak
Paloma?
for the trees.
That was a human,
No,
right?
my thing. She's a
Paloma's
gnome.
Paloma's a
She's-
gnome. See, I
Oh,
told you
shit.
guys knew gnomes.
I thought she was a halfling. Okay, sorry.
We can get Paloma to sign
They're
for the
both
gnomes.
small.
Because she does
Yeah.
live in an area with more gnomes, so she might feel more comfortable.
You know, she'd
Ask
love to put her
for
signature
autograph.
on something that
Yeah,
that
ask her
impressive.
for her
Yeah.
autograph.
Yeah, and I'll say I won't even have the conversation. The idea of her name on a document this important next to kings and emperors, she's like, abso-fucking-lutely.
I love Paloma so much.
Yeah. Paloma signs for the gnomes.
Okay, then can I make my way towards Giantsbane
Absolutely.
section next? And, find out who the king, I guess?
Yes. It's a queen, actually.
Queen, sorry, I don't know.
Sorry, it's not a queen. It's a lady.
Oh, lady, okay.
Yes.
And I'll go to them as, like, a representative of the Hands of Fate.
Sure. You
Oh.
get into the Giantsbane area, and as it is majority dwarven, there is an air of drunken celebration going on here. The main tent that in lots of other campsites is sort of prim and proper. This one is like a central meeting place and bar and hangout spot. But you see in a sort of corner of this giant tent is who you were pointed to, Lady Oliea, the Lady of Giantsbane.
So I'll go up to her, saying that I'm a representative of the Hands of Fate, and be like, you know of the rumors and the goings-on of what the Hands of Fate have been doing.
I
Here.
keep my ears close to the ground.
So then you must know we need a representative of the dwarven kind for this signature.
You wish for me to put my name on that?
We would like to. We are also willing to trade for your signature, depending on what you would want.
Tell me, I have a question about this document of yours. You banish all the gods off of Gaia. What happens to all the minor ones?
They're still here.
So, in the absence of the major gods, do you not think that the minor gods will simply become more powerful?
They could, but there are still more of the ways to banish them as well.
So,
Or not just limited to the
Giant
major
Spain.
gods.
Giant Spain is on a river that comes off the Olympian mountains, and there's a river spirit that lives there. Now, if all of my people start praying real hard to that river spirit in the absence of the other gods, and she becomes a powerful goddess in her own right, would we have to like report that, or could we just sort of let it be?
Well, I would imagine that that would take generations of consistent prayer for a minor goddess to even become remotely as powerful as one of the major.
Of course,
gods.
of course. I guess I'm sort of asking, like, is there a sort of system after you do this?
We do plan on having a system after we get all these signatures.
You
You're
plan
trying-
on having a system.
Yes.
Sounds like you don't have a system.
We have an idea.
You have to understand the way our society works. Everyone has their job, everyone knows their place, everyone knows the function they have to make the entire society work. If you want to have this new change in a society, my friend, you gotta think it through. I'm fine signing it, if you think it through. If you come to me with a real system for what happens in the power vacuum afterward, I'll listen to you.
Good to know. Then I shall return.
I look forward to it, Missy.
Was not expecting that from the dwarves, to be honest.
Listen, the dwarves have their shit together.
New favorite.
My God. Because she was just fast talking, like, straight to the point, and the accent got me.
Yeah, okay. Cool. So, dwarves, done. Do we know the key 3 you said is a halfling, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. I guess I'll approach her next.
Sure. In the Delphi camp, you are greeted as returning heroes. You see Odella and Shaxelius are here. Odella compliments your new hairdo. She thinks it looks great. You also see Headmaster Arathorn is here. He's the elven headmaster of the college in Delphi. But you grab Keythree. Keythree, you remember, is a wizard who worked with Odella and Shaxelius at the school.
Okay. So I'll approach her and give her the spiel of what we need and if she would be willing to sign for the halflings, or if she knows of another one that would be more willing to sign.
I mean, look, Karo's already signed. You've already done so much for us and for our city. It's the least I can do. I won't pretend to represent all of my people, but fuck it. I'll sign.
Nice. Okay. Lastly, I'm going to approach Adagio and ask and talk to him about what we're doing with Ice Point, because we're the only two that are technically supposed to be disguised, so we can say we're part of like putting this together, but we're not the Hands of Fate, as in we're not one of the Hands of Fate. So I feel like maybe a good thing for us to go talk to them based off of what we've done in the past.
Okay. Let's get it going.
Alright, you guys head to the Ice Point delegation. Similar to the Dracora delegation, there are lots of Dragonborn here. Now, after you guys have been here for a few days, word has quickly spread that this is something that the Hands of Fate are trying to do and that their friends are trying to do. So, coming at it from that perspective, you do get an audience with Master Balasar of the North Wind, the white Dragonborn, who was so humiliated by you and your friends earlier, though he doesn't recognize you.
Yay.
So, if you are who you say you are, you're here for my signature?
Yes, and an offer of trade to get that signature, if you so choose.
I do so choose. What do you offer in trade?
Well, that's the question. What do you want?
How about this? I'll sign your document. If your friend Lathos and all of your friends in the Hands of Fate give me your word that none of you will ever step foot in the Frostlands again.
No, that's not fair.
We can take that message and present it to the group and can be back later with the decision.
I look forward to hearing it.
Oh, come on, there has to be something. There has to be something else.
Cool. Okay, that makes me feel better. I just really wanted to get some of these signatures knocked out.
Honora still has to go back and get Nyx first, though. Nyx is still at that lady's house.
we gotta.
I think
we gotta,
Nyx has become
we gotta
that person.
go and rescue
now.
Lathos' only other friend.
Which is
want my
interesting
cat
you
back.
say that, Adagio. With Ilme's passive perception, based on the description she has heard about Lathos' friend Althea, what catches your eye, Ilme, is one particular Ice Pointian athlete that you see warming up outside of the tent. Elven features, long blonde hair, looks an awful lot like the description Lathos gave of his friend.
Can we make a detour and
course,
talk with the athletes?
As you leave your audience with Master Balasar, the world is yours.
So I'll grab Adagio and point him in the direction of this person that I noticed, and kind of just give him like a questioning look, and head over there.
You see, as you walk over, you see she's practicing the sword work right now, and she's very adept with her sword work, as she's just sort of going through the dummies, not sort of paying attention to whoever's around her.
Can I just go up to her and get her attention?
Yeah, she finishes an exercise. She goes, "What do you want?"
I couldn't help but notice you here, and I think I know one of your old friends.
Must have me mistaken for someone else. I have no friends. She goes back to her work.
Are there people around, like, close by, within hearing distance?
Not super close. If you speak at full volume, they might overhear.
Okay. So, jog my memory, was...
So just to remind you of their story.
Yes, that's what I mean.
Lathos and Althea were friends. Althea was sort of Lathos' first friend in society. So Lathos grew up in the wilderness. And Althea was much more scholarly than Lathos was. But eventually, they both decided to escape the Frostlands. They got as far as the Hecatian Mountains before they were set upon by bandits. Lathos managed to escape. Althea did not. And then, as you guys were in Ice Point, you eventually learned that Althea was a prisoner of Master Balasar, although you couldn't find her in his actual, dungeons.
Okay, that's what I thought. I thought that she was a prisoner.
Yeah.
At least okay. Well, just so you know, Lathos has missed you.
You see for the
And
first
do I
time,
get a reaction?
she misses her sword work. She, like, the sword almost clatters out of her hand. She goes, I don't know. I don't know who you're talking about. You should go.
Okay, yep. Then if Adagio's okay with leaving, I'll leave.
But it's her. I'm just shocked AF. Like, Adagio's just like, it's psychic mind link. The three of us, right?
Are you
now.
doing it right now? Ooh, okay.
All right. What do you say?
I don't even. I don't even.
Does this have no plan?
You, Lathos, friend, rescue, alive?
You see she, like, momentarily adjusts to the presence in her head before she like seems to understand what's happening, and she goes back to her sword work, and you hear in your head, "You don't understand. For every laurel I win, they take a year off my sentence."
How many years do you have?
30.
30. Well, what if we rescued you?
Their forces are powerful. For every laurel I win, I get a year off. If I win the pentathlon, they'll let me go free immediately.
Are you good?
I can hold my own, but who knows? It's strong competition.
It's not the entirety of Ice Point right now. It's just their delegation. I'm sure, like, at the end of this, like, we could just snatch.
You know that we are powerful too.
Just be careful. They have powerful friends and allies, and as soon as the games are over, they will make you pay.
Are they looking to come after us? After this?
Already, of course, and if you take me, then nothing will stop them.
Oh well, if they're already coming after us, might as well add another tally on the mark.
Why are they so interested in keeping you? I know you tried to escape, but is that the only reason?
The master has taken quite a liking to me.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my. Murder.
Wait.
The entirety of Ice Point will now burn to the ground. Welcome to the new Bayfront.
But you must be careful. More powerful than the master is his patron.
The white dragon? Well, we've faced him before. We can do it again. We're more powerful than we were then. And we have more allies. I mean, we defeated a freaking kraken.
Tell Lathos. Tell him I'm alive, and that I'm doing everything I can to be free of this.
What if he runs into you? I mean, he'll see you eventually, right? And you're performing under your name.
Yes. I suppose if he's here, that means I will see him, yes.
Well,
you must go.
We'll think of
it's
something.
Not good if you're standing around for too long.
Oh, I figured we were walking away as she's doing this.
We can walk and talk since the range is like forever.
Right. So,
cool.
That's out there. So, any
I want
other...
to murder the Ice Point dude right now.
For sure, no doubt. We have Ryujin and Anura signed up for activities. Anyone else want to sign up for a team?
Okay, but if I compete with Ice Point, do my laurels take years off of her too?
No.
I can work that out, can't I?
I would like to donate my laurels to this person because I want them to not be a prisoner.
I'll go and play for Delphi.
All right, joining the Delphi team.
If we compete for Delphi, do you think we'll be recognized though?
I mean, lots of people compete for Delphi.
It doesn't matter. They signed already.
But we can't blow Kennerang's cover.
Yeah, that's the whole point.
Ilme, what events would you like to do?
Sprinting.
You want to sprint? You want to relay as well?
Yeah, I'll do the relay too. And
Anything
I think
else?
that's it.
All right.
That's it.
Sprint and relay. You got it. You also... Sorry, you meet in the Delphian group the Delphian pentathlon person. Her name is Halcyone. She's a tabaxi monk. She's extremely fast. She's also doing the sprint and the relay with you. But she is the pentathlon athlete for Delphi. She trained with Odella. She was originally going to hoping to get into the gauntlet to meet the Oracle. Obviously, that didn't happen. So, but she's a very good athlete. They're hoping that it puts Delphi on the map, though Delphi is like fourth from the bottom in terms of ranking. So who knows?
I'll compete with Delphi.
You'll compete with
I'm
Delphi too?
competing with the team third from the
Oh
bottom.
my gosh, Adagio, do you want to do the chariot together then?
That's bad.
It's a
I mean,
single person.
only one of you can do chariot.
Oh, I thought it was a team.
No, it's
Why
just
am
one.
I thinking?
I
Oh,
also keep thinking it's a team, and I think it's because
there's
of
two
Percy
people
Jackson.
on there.
Yeah, that
Percy
probably
Jackson.
is because of Percy
Yeah.
Jackson. One person driving and one person stabbing. Ah.
That's
Yeah,
what
that's what I
keep
thought
But
thinking.
we
it
can
was.
relay. I mean, I'm not the fastest person, but I can still relay, right?
Yeah, I mean, you need 4 people for a relay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, well, I mean, like, is my speed, like, better than, like, the other people also competing that I wouldn't be taking a good spot?
I mean, what's your speed?
I have a 40 walking.
Yeah, that's a great speed for that.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
That's my
That's
speed.
fair. Well, you know,
Listen.
well, I mean, but you can also, like,
You
bonus
just can't
action
do it 3
dash, right?
times in one action. Like,
Yeah.
I can. You can't move 120 feet in 6 seconds.
Okay, I'll do the relay.
Uh-huh.
I definitely want to do the fighting one that me and Lathos did. Can Lathos also compete with me?
The wrestling one?
Yeah. Well, can he compete? Well, should I have him compete for someone else? A different city?
Sure, if you want the chance to, like, compete against him.
Yes, always. I'll
Sure.
fight myself. He can
All
fight
right.
for
You
Nepeo.
can do
or-
Nepio, yeah.
Yeah, that's what, because that's what I would have done originally.
Alright, so relay and wrestling for you?
And then I'll probably end up doing, I should probably sign up for Archer and then the Magic Archer.
Alright. Archery and Arcana.
Was the Javelin dex based or strength based?
It's
Both.
both.
Am I either of those?
Uh,
One of the worst built barbarians, I want you guys to know.
You are a barbarian cleric, which
Yeah.
to this day blows my mind a bit.
Still blows my mind. I'm not doing Javelin. But Lathos,
Lathos for Nepio?
the wrestling, is that the hand-to-hand? Is that hand-to-hand?
Unarmed is separate.
Okay, definitely not that.
But also,
Well,
I want to double check. I don't know. Not every team gets wrestling.
oh,
There are some teams that don't get to participate in that based on how they did at previous games. So let me double check. I'm not even sure if Delphi has a wrestling team, to be totally honest.
how rude.
So if you're good at 3 of the 5 pentathlon events and you can like kind of sort of do one of them, is it worth it?
Is
Yeah,
it worth?
yeah,
So I can do almost do 4 of the 5.
yeah. I think that's good odds. So sorry, just for clarifying, neither Delphi nor, actually wait, Nepio. So Delphi doesn't have a wrestling team, but Nepio does.
Rude. Can I compete for 2 teams?
No.
Separate
Can I
event?
Can I
No.
know why?
Can you ask why?
Yeah.
Nepio has, in previous years, done way better at the games than Delphi. But this year they're at the bottom because everyone's dead.
So they would have been ranked higher if they had more athletes coming into this.
Exactly.
But I really like
Okay. I thought they were ranked like that from the last games. That's why I was confused.
No. Yeah.
Okay, you think my character build would be good for one-on-one?
Sure. I don't know if you would be able to win, but you could give it a good old college try.
Okay, I'll sign up Lathos for wrestling and one-on-one if you can for his.
Yeah.
You also do archery. He did it so well the last time. He may as well, right?
Sure.
And
There's-
javelin.
There's plenty of spots. Do you want discus as well? Discus is just
yeah,
strength.
I would like discus, man. Like, man. Lathos also has a 40-foot walking speed.
You know, I will say, Nepio doesn't have a pentathlete.
Oh my god!
Do you want to sign him up for the pentathlon?
But he doesn't have a swim speed.
Well, that's one event.
yeah,
okay.
it's fine.
Yeah, you what? My man. Well, wouldn't Ryujin? Isn't Ryujin competing for?
Ryujin,
You wanna do
as
the
far as I know, is
pentathlon?
not doing the pentathlon.
Ryujin is only doing the arcane marksmanship and swimming because I'm a spellcaster and all of my other stats except charisma basically suck.
You can do
So-
chariot too.
Yeah, Cherry. should-
Okay, yeah, chariot as well. We'll give
Okay.
that a shot.
We're all gonna be trying to kill each other on the chariot.
I'm gonna sign Lathos up for the pentathlon.
That makes sense.
Okay,
And then sign Adagio up for swimming too,
you got it.
because I have
Yeah,
a swim speed.
Can I actually do the chariot race too
If I
then?
lose to
I thought I
Adagio-
needed 2 people.
Absolutely, you can.
Sammy,
I
if
don't
you
mind
need
finally listed
Adagio
out, Sammy.
to have a lesser swim speed, Kind of whack.
I would like to use my
We're
divination.
gonna need a
to
character
make
buff.
it in the back.
Wait, Adagio, what was the other one you were signing up for?
I don't remember. Sir,
I have you down for relay, wrestling, archery, and arcana.
Relay.
Relay, wrestling.
Nope, it doesn't have a wrestling. They have it's the one.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
It's the
Relay, archery, arcana.
Swimming.
Swim, and do you want to do unarmed as well?
I'll try the unarmed. Why not?
Sure.
Gonna go college track.
All right.
Might as well have fun with it.
So that's Adagio. Anora, have you decided your events?
Yeah, I got them listed out now.
Hit me.
Nice.
Archery, arcane marksmanship, equestrian, javelin, chariot, and pentathlon. Cause why not?
You got it. Pentathlon for Sylvan.
This is great. We have
They didn't
multiple
have
people
one, did
doing
they?
pentathlon, and we can all rig it to have Nariana win. Because
Wait.
remember, Nariana has to win.
Yeah, I know. That's why I was like, they don't have one. I could be pretty good at this. To like, if I get up top, just be like, oh, I tripped.
What do you think?
Exactly.
Better than
I want to do archery.
For what team?
Can I see who's at spear point?
Sure. There is no one of particular value at Spear Point. They're all good athletes, but there's no one that like stands out from the crowd.
Okay, then I'm going to Voltor.
You're going to Voltura, okay?
I'm way.
I want to see if my brother was there.
No, he's not there.
But I thought that Paloma wanted to go against you if you're on the same team.
We're still
you
against
still-
each other. Yeah.
Yeah, just not as much.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I was about to say, does that count?
it is set up so that they try to separate different people from the same team as much as possible. That's how they set up the bracket system. So only if you guys both do super, super well will eventually you meet.
So you might not ever
That's-
actually go against Paloma.
But if I meet her, there's a better chance that I meet her in the finals.
That's true.
If she can make it.
Yeah.
And
That's
I will
cool.
I will also say that for most events, you don't need to win the previous round to get to the next round. It's usually like about the top half moves on to the next round. So you could come in second place and still move on.
Now, how I'm reading this ability, I don't think Flash of Genius uses any magic.
I think you're correct.
I can use Flash of Genius.
Sure. So, Voltura.
Okay.
So Wheel and Woe is good. Flash of Genius is good. It's just
Yeah.
divination that was the problem.
Yeah.
What
Yeah,
the
this
heck?
can't be magic.
Originally, it was.
Yeah.
No,
So-
I was good originally.
So, Alexios, Voltura or Spear Point?
Voltora.
And
You said fuck your hometown.
what events are you doing?
Archery.
Just archery.
That's it. Yes.
You got it. Okay. That is you guys. Now I will leave you also with, you have your NPCs. We already have
Okay.
Lethos and Nariana signed up. Are there anyone else that you would like to sign up for any of these events?
I forgot about that. Hold up. I do want to put Kreesa in sword work.
For Sparta? Or for Arcadia?
Wherever you think she should compete.
I mean, totally up to you. She's from Arcadia, but you can put it wherever makes sense.
I don't. How like strong are her ties to her hometown?
I mean, she was born and raised there. But, you know, she's a team player. She'll go wherever you need her.
That's not fucking helpful.
Napeo.
Yeah, let's put her on Nepeo's team.
Sure.
What a cute little stacked team we've like created
Yeah.
over here.
Alright, so Kreesa's doing sword work.
Yeah, and then I want to put Iasis on Nepeo's team for sprint.
You got it. He'll do sprint and relay.
What about
And unarmed
the
combat.
unarmed? Yeah.
Oh yeah, unarmed. I forgot about unarmed
Yeah.
for him.
Yeah.
God, I had to keep up with almost every event.
Nicholas will go for Nepio.
Did one of them have a high con?
He'll do
Archery.
archery, and does he have a thing for arcane marksmanship too?
I don't have a spell list up, so I'm not entirely sure if he has any attack spells.
I'm looking. If it
Does
says.
anyone have a high constitution?
I think clerics and
My constitution is okay.
What is a
Lathos has a
good
pretty
constitution?
good constitution.
What is a good constitution?
I mean, Lathos has
That's
the
like
highest
a
ball
plus
of the-
3 or higher is a good constitution.
Yeah. You should
Yeah.
put Lathos in long distance running because it's stamina based.
I did not know that.
He has
Yeah.
lightning arrow. Does that count?
I don't think so because I think that's just a spell you put onto an arrow to then shoot the arrow.
Okay, then I don't think he'll be able to do arcane.
All right.
then.
I put Lathos in for long distance. Lathos is doing a ton of this, by the way.
Yeah, he really is. I guess he was just built for the Olympics.
Yeah.
What about a +2 constitution?
I mean,
Yeah.
it could serve you if you roll right.
Because I was also thinking about putting
Oh, right.
Iasus in it
Why
because
not?
he's a +2.
For long distance?
Yeah.
Sure, I'll put him in.
The
For the hell of
pentathlon-
it.
What it was sprinting, swimming. My brain said goodbye, goodbye, goodbye.
For
Greece
you?
is also a +2.
No, the pentathlon. The events
Oh,
are.
sprint, swim, equestrian, javelin,
Archery.
archery. Thank you.
Okay, well, yeah, Lathos is pretty much good on decent on all of them.
Yeah.
For swimming.
But he's gonna
Equestrian-
throw the fight. He's gonna throw it.
Equestrian might be his problem.
Yeah.
He's
But,
gonna
you know,
throw it.
everyone's gonna have one
Yeah.
problem.
He has to.
Yes.
Mariana has to win.
Yeah. Okay. So I will.
Mariana has to win.
Here's what I'll say.
Mariana.
Or do you want Althea to win and free herself? Who knows?
How many events is she in? How many events is Althea signed up for?
Althea is signed up for 5. She's doing the pentathlon, unarmed combat, sword work, equestrian, and arcana.
That's only 5 years off her sentence.
Unless she
Correct.
wins the pentathlon.
Unless she wins the pentathlon.
You
If she wins the
See, what we
pentathlon,
need to
clear
do-
slate.
see, Mariana, freedom from a creepy master dude who's
You
also
could,
late for-
We can
you could try to
literally
be like,
take-
hey,
Get
King's
your-
Eye, maybe we can adjust this deal a little bit.
So you said just Mariana versus freedom. Getting our plan through to the gods
giving them a godstone instead.
versus one person's freedom when we can kind of just steal her when this is over.
The
We can
world's freedom
continue
versus-
to discuss this. I'll also put in the chat like everything I have written down of who's doing what. We can continue to adjust this as we go. Next week, the games begin. That's where we'll pick up on day 1 of the actual Olympics. Very, very excited to get into the games. Thank you guys so much for joining us. If you didn't catch the entire thing, this entire episode will be up in full on YouTube on Saturday, and you can join us next Monday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, to see the games literally, actually begin. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Oops.